Tes mic 1 2 3 1 2 3. Oke, halo guys, welcome back with me Fedelish, your online friends. So ya, hari kita bakal lanjut Chaos Child yang dimana kita udah ending 2 ya kemarin ya. Sekarang kita OTW ke ending 3. Wait. Kayak kita buka dulu Chaos Child. And then kita buka ininya ya. Gimana cara triggernya ya? Cara trigger ending 3-nya. OBS Chaos Child. Nah, kemarin kita udah dapat yang Dark Skyen, sekarang Deep Skyen. To reach this route, select all positive and additional delusion except for the delusion in chapter 3 when you're alone with Hinae. Oke. Bentar ya. Aku baru tau openingnya. Aku baru tau openingnya. Coba kita dengerin kali ya. Terus sambil lihat yang ininya. Juga. Kita perlu new game lagi ya. Bentar. The last positive is an additional. Deep Skyen. Chapter 3 ya. Player must active sabar. Ending rute 3 gimana sih? This route will begin at the end. All positive except for the delusion in chapter 3. Chapter 3. Oke. Kemarin kita udah ambil yang positif semua ya. Jadi nggak perlu dibaca lagi gitu. Berarti kita kemungkinan besar lebih cepat ini buat unlock ending 3. Oke. Ini juga udah, ini yang si penyanyi ya. Erika Onoe. Hai, halo Eri, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Oh my god, apakah tidak tersave? Enggak. Ini emang cari ending ketiga. Karena kan conversationnya masih sama gitu. Jadi nggak ada yang perlu dibaca lagi gak sih? Jadi nggak wasting time. Karena conversationnya sama, plotnya sama. Udah kita baca kemarin. Oke. I see, by the way your sub sangka special ya. Itu kemarin udah naik tapi turun lagi. Sekarang kita mencoba ambil rutenya si Kazuki. Si bocil headset, si bocil headphone. Additional. Oke. Buset, banyak banget ya trigger point di sini ya. Oke. Jadi endingnya itu milih satu di antara yang kemarin itu ya. Mungkin ya. Nggak begitu paham juga sih aku actually. Tapi yang kemarin ending kedua jujur aku suka sih, bagus sih. Buat endingnya ya. Oke, ini positif. Trigger on. Oke, triggernya telah on. Masih sama plotnya. Ini masih chapter 1 kan ya? Pada chapter 2. Kok nggak turu Eri? Bukannya besok kelas? Enggak lah. Masih kelas sih sekolah mah. Kamis. Enggak, kelas itu kan tanggal merah kan. Libur besok. Kelas 12 jangan praktek. Wah. Libur. Kenanya. Emang kau kelas berapa? Nitip like bang. Oke Amel. Thank you udah mampir ya. Tidak bisa tidur karena terlalu lelah. Lelah. Aku baru bangun. Aku kelas 11. Oh. Ding ding ding. Aku malah baru pulang, buset. Lah, bukannya tadi kau sempat mampir ke streamku yang di Twitch? Kirain udah beres itu.
De, その概要が。ちなみに同じ日付の6年前の事件は集団ダイブだから
Grup dive ini nih.
De, その概要が
Itu masih di sekul gabut
1
habis
件目は
ulangan
こんなも
harian.
んだな。じゃあ2件目に行こう。
Harian dah.
通称でその遺体の画像が
Harusnya bikin kopi nih tadi.
Cotto stop.
Iya. Oke. Nah, ini chapter berapa? Save coba. Anjir masih chapter 1. Halo Harry, how's your daily exam? Halo Maldo, welcome to the stream. Dun, 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 dun. Uki Yamazoe. Buset 100. Pede sekali kamu. Kayaknya semenjak SMA aku nggak ada yang 100 deh. Kecuali TIK. Kita tidak boleh terlalu pede ya, Harry. Nanti kamu gampang kecewa. Ih, Cok, pede sangat, Cok. Fisika kan. Ngeri-ngeri. Kalau MTK kemarin yang buri kok. Masih belum chapter 3 aman. Iya kakek player. Jangan Kak, dibilangin panggilnya Om.
じゃあまとめウィキに突然貼られた動画はラブホテルの中を外から撮ったやつだから。
Oh ini upload video. K21.
こっちみんなの現場が見える位置にあった力士シールの
Salah ya?
で、その引きのが
Revolving that. Waduh, tadi emang 100 sih. Cuma 10 soal. Hah? Kenapa pilihan ganda, Cok? Ujiannya anjir. Ujian apa ujian, Cok? Anjir, fisika PG 10 doang, Cok. Apaan, Cok? Oh, cap cup juga bisa anjir. Ujian fisika aku selalu esai. Kalau ini studi kasus. Berapa semester? Semester 2 kali. Januari, Cok. Januari mah semester 2 anjir. Baru 1 bab juga. Ujian harian. Aku selalu esai sih. PG itu pas UAS. Harian nggak ada PG. Bulanan nggak ada PG. No, kelewat, Cok. Aduh, gara-gara ngobrol, sorry. Geblek. Kalau ganti-ganti gitu kayak ini PG minggu depan esai, gak ada sih. Gak ada ujian PG kayaknya harian, Cok. PG itu cuma ada pas ujian UAS. Hati-hati loh, Airi loh. Om Aldo tuh pedo, Cok. Hati-hati aja. Kalau kata aku sih hati-hati. Pasti ada soalnya gerak sebuah benda, sebuah mobil ambulan, 3 buah pegas. Benar kata kalian, di sini ada black campaign. Black campaign apaan, bro? Then I'm with you. Then I trust you, know apa, Cok? I trust you. Serem, Cok. Mengerikan emang beda satu ini. Something wrong with the streamer, anjir. Something wrong apaan, Cok? Kalau kataku sih hati-hati ya, Eri. Mengerikan lah. Oke. Dun, dun. Yang di sini lama juga ya ininya triggernya ya? Lama sekali tempat triggernya. Aneh. Kok udah balik Komaldo? Dun, dun. Belum. Kasih rumah pacar. Halah, kayak punya aja. Kayak punya aja. Kayak punya aja. Trut. Oke. Ini ketemu momen-momen ketemu Loli ya. Oke, cukup lama ya. Pengen mencari ending cukup lama ya. Oke. Kita masuk chapter 3. Chapter 3 dikasih pesan kalau kita except for delusion in chapter 3 where you're alone with Hinai preparing for Hinai. Viewer cukup sabar. Satu 17. Harusnya ini ya berarti ya. Coba ya, semoga nggak salah ya. What the fuck this guy? You search something to replay? Hah? Maksudnya? Aduh, epilepsi kamu. Emang kamu ada ini? Ada gejala epilepsi ya, Maldo? Fedel sing with me, what the hell? Here I am to working. Hah? Apaan, Cok? Lagu apa, Cok? Lagu apaan, Cok? Ah, discover Hanakazuki's chapter. Oh iya, berarti di sini mulai beda ya? Here I am to worship. Nggak tahu.
なんだよ。
Oke, endingnya udah ke-trigger, guys. And this rule will begin at... Oke. Jujur saya tidak tahu lagunya ya, Om Aldo ya. Her words. Oh iya, tadi map disuruh pinpoint ya. Ini chapter 6 ya ke triggernya ya. Oke, chapter 6. And I don't want to see the world. I don't want the world to see me cause I don't think that they will understand. Aku nggak tahu lagunya, cowok. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. Oh my god. Who are you, Om Aldo? Kata wajar bangsat. Udah lagu yang tahu aja gimana. Waktu Tuhan pasti. Ah, nggak tahu. Lagu apa itu, Cak? Yang terbaik.
Oke.
Tapi aku nggak tahu sih lagu itu sih. Kalau kadang tak dapat dimengerti. Oh my god. Om Aldo langsung nyanyi, bro. Kenapa ditarik, cok? Del mabar apaan? Cok, visual novel mau berapaan anjir? Follow lah guys, anjir. Kau mana main follow? Aku nggak main follow, cok. Aku nggak suka follow, cok. Gak deh, takut beda server loh. Yaudah gue download CS. Oh my god. Kau aja nggak punya laptop, cok. Berat, cok, CS. Aku udah jarang main CS. Gak punya. It was, now it's different, anjir. Kau baru beli laptop? Laptop apa? Gak ada sih, pinjam punya. Wih, pinjam. Jangan kau rusakin loh, pinjam punya orang anjing. Hai, halo Fan, welcome to the stream. Emang yang tadi Airi nyanyiin, kamu tahu lagunya Om Aldo? Aku nggak tahu ya. Mana aku tahu, aku kan beda server. Emang iya? Apa iya Om Aldo? Yang bener Om Aldo. Oke, harusnya di chapter ini. Ngapain sih Fed ketik skip. Ini nyari lagi nyamperin ke endingnya, Cok. Lagi trigger endingnya. Halo Nepo, welcome to the stream. Oke. Nepo belum jawab pertanyaanku yang kemarin. Apaan tuh? Apa itu Om Kepler? Nah lo. Mungkin ke skip. Ya aku mah selalu ke skip. Iya Om Aldo. Kamu selalu ke skip. Nah nih dapat nih. Pandemic call. Nah ini baru. Time with family aja ke skip. Iya Om Aldo. The next thing I knew, I was at school. It was night time, but for some reason the back gate was open. I went in from there. I had been so desperate to get away that I hadn't even realized where I was. Maybe I would come this way so many times that I had just followed the path unconsciously. The lights were still on in the teacher's office and a few of the special classroom. It was late, but someone might still be cleaning up after the culture festival. At some point, I had gotten separated from Arimura. That worried me. I imagined her screaming as she was burned by a pillar of flame and almost threw up. No, that's overthinking things. It was impossible. It couldn't happen. Why were we attacked anyway? Was that woman after me or Arimura? Somebody tell me. My throat was parched. I hadn't even been running that long. It hurt to breathe. My strength was at its limit. The one thing I could be thankful for was that the horrible sensation caused by some sumo sticker was gone. For now, I decided to just head to the club room. It wasn't necessarily safe, but I at least wanted to catch my breath. And maybe Arimura will be there too. The door was unlocked. The lights were on. I quickly ran inside. Arimura? I staggered inside and collapsed on the table. I wanted water. No matter how much I tried to breathe, my lungs demanded more oxygen. The room filled with the sound of me gasping for air. Nobody responded. Was Arimura not here after all? Then why were the lights on? My throat was so dry that I choked when I tried to speak. I curled into a ball and spat plank out from my mouth. Only then I was able to raise my head and look around the room. Kazuki was there. She was standing in the corner of the room, looking at me with the white eyes. Oh, so you were the one in the room. That would explain why I had thought no one was here. But what was Kazuki doing here at this hour? Had she come here after I had left for home this afternoon? I thought about asking her, but before I could saw the computer monitor, it was displaying the same game screen as always. She's playing a game? How could she be playing a game when I almost killed by that woman? I choke again. I could only speak in a hoarse whisper. She must have noticed how out of breath I was because she offered me a bottle of mineral water. If the cap was off, did that mean she had been drinking from it? I wondered for a moment if it was okay to drain, but I wasn't in a position to be choosy. I snatched the bottle out of her hand and poured its contents down my throat. I drank so fast that some of the water had gone down the wrong pipe, and I started to cough violently. Ngomongin violent, keinget ini kemarin streamnya KN gara-gara dibilang violation, Cok. But I still felt a lot better than before. Thanks. I collapsed to the ground, unable to say another word. Once I had calmed down, boleh sa violation itu, Cok. The terror from before came back and my body started to shake. I needed to hide somewhere. I couldn't be sure that this place was safe, and if it wasn't, Kazuki would be in danger. Kazuki seemed confused by my behavior. Did she want to ask what was going on? I didn't think she cared about anyone else, but maybe she was nicer than I thought. She had come to check on me with the others over the afternoon after all, but I didn't feel like I had time to explain. First, I had to get somewhere safe. That sound. You heard the sound, right? It was an eerie sound, like something had exploded. And you'll never hear that sound as part of your everyday life. But sometimes you had heard. You will hear it in fiction, like in movies or TV show. But where did it come from? It felt like it was far away, but it was hard to tell. I stood up and opened the window to look out. Huh? A car parked near the front entrance had exploded. Black smoke was rising and the flames were illuminating their surroundings. A teacher had run out of the office and was yelling for someone to call a fire truck. It's her. It's that woman. It was too dark to see from here, but I knew it. She was after me. Did that mean I was her target? Why me? You're going to be killed. Takuro Miyashiro. Was it because I was a psychic? Shit. I have to get out of here. As I went to leave the room, my gaze met Kazuki's. I didn't have time to explain. Kazuki, just get out of here. Go home. Be as quiet as you can. But the gate... sorry, kepencet tadi. That's right, don't go out the front gate. That was all I had to say before I fled into the hallway. How many people were still in the school building? I had heard what sounded like a teacher's voice down below. At times like this, a wrong-sider could do nothing but panic. In fact, they often did stupid things that put them into even more danger. Wait, wasn't that what I was doing right now? I felt like laughing for some reason. I just prayed that she wouldn't hurt anyone else. All I could do was pray and run. Pray and run ya, bukan spray and run ya. There was no sign of her in the hallway. I needed to head out of the main building and escape out the back. Again? I heard another distant explosion and felt what might have been the building shaking. The glass was vibrating. You're kidding me. Kazuki ran out of the room. Halo VTuber Chaos Chill, iya bubuk, welcome to stream. She was trying to follow me. Wait, why are you following me? Halo ya penyuka anak umur 14 tahun ya? Why was she following me? If that woman was after me, you'll be in danger. But Kazuki ignored my warning and shook her head frantically back and forth, as if she was about to cry. Damn it, let's just get out of school. I yelled, more for my own sake than Kazuki's, and started to run down the hallway. We crossed the connecting hallway to the main building. In the distance, I could hear someone yelling for people to get to a safe place. The area around the school was in chaos. It must have been the people who live in the neighborhood. Why would she attract so much attention? Wasn't she trying to kill me? Even if she did manage to kill me, did she think she could escape with all these people around? What the hell is going on? Why was that woman trying to kill me? Was she the one behind the murders? Or was she just a psychopath who was setting things on fire at random? If she was, then what the hell? I bit my lips and ran down the dark hallway. Tapi itu kan dia nyari si ini kan? Dia nyari si siapa tuh namanya? Nyari si Arimura kan? If it was this dark, it wouldn't be easy for her to find me. Oh my god, subsnya. Iya, udah dari kemarin nih Mr. Berisik. All I had to do was to get the bottom of the stair at the other side of building. Then I will go right past the library, then the track, and I will reach the rear entrance. By the way, welcome to stream ya, Mr. Berisik. If I could make it out of the school while she was setting fire to cars at the front gate, I could escape. 666, hurry. Kazuki, hurry. Devil nih, enggak dong. Kazuki tried her best to keep up with me. To be honest, she was slowing me down, but I was the one who had run into the club room. The part of me thought it was my fault for getting her involved. I had no choice but to wait for her. I waited her to catch up to me and started to dash down the stairs. But then, this time I heard an explosion coming from the track outside. I could see crimson flames rising outside the dark window. You're kidding me. You got there first? Cepat juga ya. Damn it, let's head back. We stopped at the second floor and started to run back to the main gate. First, she had burned the cars outside the gate, then she headed to the rear. It was unlikely she had back to the front gate that quickly. Menghilang dulu Maturo. Oke, Mr. Risik. Thank you udah mampir. Kazuki was running out of breath. So was I, honestly. I was exhausted, and I hadn't even been running that long. And I didn't have time to rest. We ran past the cafeteria, then went down to the entrance on the first floor. The entrance was always open during the day, but now all the doors were closed and locked. They were the kind that needed a key to open, no matter which side you were on. Subscriber kayak gamenya sama-sama dark, emang iya. Till I break a window. I looked outside for a moment and was astonished by what I saw. No, the gate was sealed with burning cars. When I had seen it from the room, there weren't any cars there. Has she moved them there to block the gate? Did she move burning cars all by herself? That was crazy. And I could see a crowd gathering around the burning cars too. If I tried to force my way through and that woman came back, just thinking about it terrified me. That psychopath wouldn't even think twice before killing them all. No, I can't do it. I couldn't leave by the main gate. It would be too dangerous to try and avoid her flame as I made my way through the crowd. But then where can we run? Kazuki flinched when I yelled. Sorry, I wasn't yelling at you. Where could we go? Will I head back out to the rear entrance? Hell no. She was just out there. I'll probably run right into her. Calm down. Think. Halo Domba Tersat, welcome to stream. As I stood there, I could feel the fear crawling up my body. I came to this school every day, but it still felt like I'd never been here before. Every shadow seemed like it might hide some danger. I was overcome with the idea that she might appear at any moment, and I couldn't move a muscle. In my head, I knew that it would be easy to find me where I was, and that I needed to move, but I couldn't. It felt like my mind had been separated from my body. This was not good. I might die here. Kazuki tugged lightly on my sleeve. And then I got a hold of myself again. My body was shaking, but I was barely able to move. Let's go. We just needed to hide somewhere. I ended up coming to my own classroom. I closed the door and crouched by the window, using the desk to block myself from sight. Kazuki was looking at me, concerned. Duck, she'll see you. Kazuki quickly ducked down under her desk. Now all we had to do was stay put and wait for the storm to pass. I listened for any noises outside. I became extremely sensitive to even the smallest sound. Even a tiny noise was enough to make me start shivering. I hadn't heard an explosion for a while. As I sat there, I cradling my knees in my arm and felt the urge to scream from the terror. I bit my lip to stop myself from doing it. Maybe it would have been a better idea to keep running around the school. I was defenseless here. I was hidden, sure, but if she found this place, I was finished. This was the 4th floor. I couldn't jump out the window. Iyalah. If she trapped me in here, I was done for. Maybe this was a bad choice. The fear kept building. Overthinking dia jadinya. I couldn't stay calm. I wanted to run. But even if I did get out of the school, how long will I have to keep running? When will she give up? Was there any guarantee that she ever would? Maybe she would keep following me until I was dead. What do I do? What do I do? I shuddered. I could hear the distant sound of heels. I could hear the faint sound of someone dragging their leg. I thought back to when Arimura and I had been attacked less than an hour ago. Was she dragging her leg? I couldn't remember. But it felt sure of it somehow. Those footsteps belongs to her. Kazuki gulped. That meant I was imagining the footsteps. And they were closer than I thought. She was on this floor. She was walking down the hallway. She was getting closer. I clutched myself tighter, but I couldn't stop shaking. Did she know I was here? Or was it a coincidence? Nah, ini bingung juga nih. Shall I stay here? Shall I move? But if I ran up now, he will find me for sure. But there was no guarantee. He would just walk by my classroom. Either way, I was screwed. I was doomed. I was going to burn to death. I panicked and moved over to Kazuki. A woman with pyrokinetic power is going to attack us. She's after me. Kazuki's eyes went wide as she finally understood the situation. I skipped the explanation what pyrokinetic power were because I figured she might know from her games. She's going to kill us both. Is there anything we can do? Anything? Help me. Apa tuh? She was close. She was almost on top of us. All I could do was crouch and hold my hat in my hand. This whole situation was insane. Hello. I was going to be killed without even knowing why. Please help me. Someone. Anyone. Help me. And then I can do something. Maybe. Maybe. Kazuki stood up and looked down at me, her face filled with uncertainty. Oh. What was that grass stick thing she was holding in her hand? Damn. Keren juga, Cok. Senjatanya dia. Anjir, keren banget. It looked like some strange creature from the deep sea. Ini ya, apa namanya? Ikan pedang ya? Or perhaps a spine ripped out of a human body. Iya sih, bisa juga ya, tulang belakang ya. It was solemn, grave, and sharp, rejecting everything around it. With a radiant beauty that drew everything around it inward. It shone with the light of paradox. The one thing I knew for sure somehow was that it was a sword. Was this a D-sword? Did Kazuki have a D-sword too? Kazuki, did you talk? Wait, forget that. That sword. I was confused. So much was happening at once that I couldn't keep up. I didn't know what to ask first. If we can get to the roof. The roof? I wasn't sure what she was talking about or why he would suddenly decided to start talking, but the footsteps were getting closer. I don't know what will happen. I can't guarantee the result. Maybe. But if you're okay with that. So that was it. Kazuki was trying to save me. I stood up as silently as I could. So we head for the roof, right? There was no time to think about it. Even if she couldn't guarantee what will happen, I didn't have any other choice. Fortunately, the woman had passed by our classroom and headed for another wing of the building. We were able to make it to the roof easily. The roof of Akiho Academy was a garden. Of course, it was the first time I had been here at night. Now wasn't the time for sightseeing, but I still gasped when I saw the view of Shibuya at night. I looked down over the fence and saw the front gate right below us. The cars were still burning, and the crowd was getting bigger. The fire department was right nearby, but the fire trucks hadn't arrived yet. What was she going to do here? Was she going to use that sword to fight? That would be like something out of a manga or anime. I couldn't imagine her trying to fight with that thing. And if she wanted to fight, there was no need to come to the roof at all. She could have just ambushed the woman in the hallway. Was she trying to be chivalrous or something?
先輩
Miyashiro,
隠れててもらった方が
you should hide. Maybe. What are you going to do? Kazuki glanced at me but didn't answer. Instead, she walked toward the fence. And then, she grabbed onto the fence and took a deep breath. With no warning whatsoever, she screamed into the empty air.
はしご
Ladder.
防火扉
Fire shutter.
スプリンクラー
Sprinkler. Huh? What's going on here?
屋上に牢
Prison on the
屋
roof.
土砂降りの雨で火が消える
A rainstorm. Putting out a fire. Was she stupid? If she yelled like that, the woman will hear us. She's trying to turn me over to her.
校舎に催眠ガス
Sleeping gas filling the whole building.
警察の機動部隊出動
Police mobile unit team roll out.
消防車で放水5台
Fire truck with hoses. 5, no, 10.
待って、
Wait.
待てって。
I grabbed Kazuki by the shoulder and tried to make her stop. But she knocked my hands away. Even in the darkness, I could see tears in her eyes.
黙って
Be quiet. The second she said the word, I felt a pressure in my chest. Like a cold hand gripped my heart. For some reason, I felt like I was being forced to fall silent. I wanted to speak, but I felt like I had to stay quiet. I struggled, dreaded if I said something, I'll be erased from the entire world. I staggered away from Kazuki, unable to find a word to say anything. Was this why she had told me to hide? AK-47, M60, RP, Claymore. What was she yelling anyway? I didn't understand at all.
戦車
Tank,
UAV
UAV,
攻撃ヘリコプ
UAV apaan cok? Unmanned aerial vehicles. There are multiple types of UAVs that fly pre-programmed route or attack pre-designated target, as well as those controlled remotely by pilots. Oh, UAV buat cek sekitar. Oh, kayak radar gitu ya.
と手榴
Grenade,
スナイパーライフル
sniper rifle. And then she suddenly fell silent. She was thinking about something. I should just forget about relying on her. I should get out of here now. It was safe to assume that Kazuki shouting had attract
氷雪系最強
ultimate
重力を自在に
the power to control gravity. She started to scream again, obvious to my fears. I couldn't take it anymore. I looked down over the fence. The crowd was looking up and pointing at Kazuki. I looked over at the other building too, but I couldn't see the woman from my current position.
相手は死ぬ
They just died.
杖系主人公
Kamotsu, Knight,
魔法使い
Mage,
忍者
Ninja. I wanted to tell her to run away with me, but after she had told me to be quiet, I felt this strange pressure not to speak.
ドラゴン巨人
Giant,
ゲームマスター
Game Master. I'll just have to leave her. If the woman was after me, Kazuki was probably safe here. I knew that was just foolish optimism, but I didn't feel like I had any other choice. I refused to just die here. Sorry,
レ
Kazuki.
ア武器
Rare
ポー
weapon.
タル装置
Portal.
エクスカリバー
Excalibur. K-Bolg. K-Bolg apa lagi anjir? A legendary spear used by Lain. Anjir, Lain eh. In Celtic mythology.
草薙の剣
Kusanagi no Tsurugi apa lagi nih? Also called the Blade of Amano Murakumo, one of the 3 imperial regalia of Japan. It is currently kept in Atsura Shrine. Sorry. I turned back on on Kazuki and headed for the door, but the door to the stairs exploded into flames right in front of me. Hot wind scorched my skin. It was too hot for me to even keep my eyes open. The unpleasant smell of smoke stung my nose. I heard a sound. It was the sound of the hills that I had heard in the classroom a moment ago. Huh? The woman was standing in the fire, her long hair flapping in the wind. She was moaning something to herself. I had run right into her. There was no place to hide. The staircase was the one way down, and she had just blown it up. This was it. I was dead. Death magic. Healing magic. Kazuki started screaming again. She was just screaming meaningless word down into the crowd below with her back turned us. Now was not the time for this. I couldn't move at all. And for some reason, the woman wasn't moving either. She was just standing there mumbling to herself. I searched my field of vision. I had seen it the last, but I didn't see any sign of it. I kept chanting, move, move, move to myself, but nothing started to float up or move on its own. Even if I did have some kind of power, if I couldn't use it, it was worthless. I was helpless. And then it was far too late for it to matter. Far, far too late. But Kazuki finally stopped screaming. Her shoulders slumped helplessly. She was back to her usual silent self. Suddenly, everything was so quiet, I thought I could hear my heart beat. I was so tense, I thought I might throw up. The stomach acid was working its way up my throat. I forced myself to swallow it back down. If I moved even the slightest bit when I vomited, the woman might attack. I couldn't move. Was I going to die? Kazuki was probably going to die too. I felt pretty bad about that. Did Arimura make it out okay? Would Serika, Kurusu, and Ito be sad without me? Sorry. I could hear Kazuki's whisper drowning in the howl of the wind. Nothing happened. And then pyrokinetic woman took one staggering step towards me. Pumps appeared in her hand. It was over. I bit my lip and clenched my fist, trying to ready myself for the pain that has to come. Of course, nothing will be enough to prepare me for it, but I felt like if I didn't do that, I'll collapse to the ground from fear. But then I heard an eerie, high-pitched noise from the moonlit sky. It was maddening, painfully noise, like Earth itself was screaming with agony. It was the kind of noise that made people look at the sky in fear. The woman froze. I looked back from the sky and blinked in confusion at what I saw. No, it wasn't just confusion. The thing had appeared between me and the woman with no warning at all. What the hell was this? It looked like something like a globe. It was making a strange, slightly unpleasant sound, like a metal scraping against metal. It looked like a piece of modern art, but the ring on the outer edge were rotating, and the hexagonal cube in the center was glowing softly. It wasn't here a moment ago. It wasn't a part of the roof decoration. It was impossible to believe it was real, because it looked like it was floating. I seriously wonder if I was seeing things, but I wasn't the only one who saw it. A portal device, maybe. Kazuki's words were a whisper. A portal device. What the hell? If she knew what it was, did that mean it was hers? But even she seemed to be shocked by its presence. The woman panned as if she was hyperventilating and then click her heels against the ground. The flames flickered in her hand. The fire exploded onwards toward the strange object. The object was wrapped in a column of flame. But it didn't burn or melt from heat or explode. It simply floated there. Maybe it really was an illusion, I thought. The woman looked frustrated. She raised her voice in a wordless scream, then tried to punch it from her other hand. Huh? I could see the pallor of her face change in the light of the flames. She was frozen in shock. It wasn't just her expression. Her whole body seemed as still as if she had been encased in ice. The roaring flames began to disappear. I could see what looked like scan lines appear all across her body. I rubbed my eyes, thinking I was hallucinating again. But in an instant, her body dissolved into tiny particles. Red blood splattered everywhere. It covered my body. It was so hot, I thought I had burned. What the hell? What just happened? There was no trace of her body. There was nothing left of her except a spray of blood on my body on the ground. What Kazuki had called a portal device was still there, making its strange noises. Still confused, I tried to touch it.
触ったら
Don't touch it, maybe.
ダメかも。
Kazuki grabbed my arm and stopped me. She still looked sad.
転送装置かもだから。
It might be a teleporter.
変数
Maybe they are in SO2.
S2
Teleporter. SO2 was the game Kazuki played all the time.
私
I might have made it real, maybe.
たの
What did she mean, maybe? And wait, what did she mean made
あ
it
の
real?
女の人が消える時の
It was the same graphical effect as when someone uses the portal in SO2, maybe.
エフェクト
Graphical effect?
エフェクト
What does that mean? What did she mean by graphical effect? No, I knew what she meant. That wasn't the issue. I didn't understand what she was saying. It was like listening to words from another
こ
dimension.
こはゲームの中じゃ
This isn't
な
a
いんだ
video
ぞ
game, you know that, right?
普通人は消えないし
Normally people just don't just disappear, and there are no graphical effect on people's bodies.
ここは現実
This is on SO2. There are no portal devices, so
ポータル装置がある世界じゃない
Kazuki was a little hesitant and there were tears in her eyes as she spoke.
あの女の人
Where did that woman go?
どこ
The
行
woman
っ
had
ちゃった
disappeared right in front of me. It was like she had been dissolved into tiny little pieces, whose blood was on my clothes and on the ground.
私
I may have done something terrible, maybe. Her words were fine, but she covered her face with her hand and fell to the ground crying. Next to her, I vomited from the smell of blood. Anas betul hari ini bang, iya. That woman was that. I didn't know why exactly, but I felt sure of it. I felt no relief at having survived. I had long since given up trying to take in everything that was going on around me. Shortly afterward, Kazuki and I had fled the school. I couldn't walk through Shibuya in blood-covered clothes, and I wanted to stay out of sight. As I wondered what to do, Kazuki pulled me by the hand.
うち来
My
て
place.
カズキ
Maybe. Kazuki. I didn't ask why her Japanese was so weird. Where was her house? What if her family found me? I didn't have the energy left to ask. Kazuki looked exhausted and frightened. I was sure I did too. I didn't realize how nice that Takiho student dorm were. Odia dorm, it was nothing like Aoba dorm. The room did smell a little like squid. The student dorms were about a 5 minutes walk from the school. Kazuki said she lived here alone. The dorms room looked like suites at an extended stay hotel. All rooms were private, and there was no dorm mother to make meals or do anything else. Dorm itu apa bang? Dorm itu apa yo?
人目を避けるには最適
This might be the best place to stay out of the sight, huh? I didn't have the energy to go back to the RV. And I didn't have to see anyone right now. Dorm itu Emerald. Iya Cipions, kamu hebat sekali. Dorm itu yang hero di Dota kan Cipions. Instead of changing or sitting on the bed, Kazuki went to a corner of the room and crouched down. I sat on the floor, a distance away from her. I brought my knees up and buried my head in them. Suddenly, I was starting to shiver. When I closed my eyes, I could see the flames and look on the woman's face in the last second of her life. Corner itu apa bang? Corner itu jagung. Corner itu juga bisa penyakit gitu, penyakit jantung corner gitu. How wonderful would it be if all of that, from the pyrokinetic woman to the attack, even Kazuki Tolkien, was just a dream? I clutched myself tighter, trying to stop myself from shaking. Salah, corner itu tendangan di sepak bola. Oh my god, baru tahu. Wah, stop. Kazuki started to cry. I remember reading in Cool Cat Press about how to seduce girls when they were feeling down, but I didn't feel like trying that out at all now. I couldn't come up with anything else to say make her feel better either. I didn't have good enough social skill, and I didn't feel up to it anyway. Wasop itu apa bang? Sobat itu artinya. So all I could do is pretend I didn't hear her. But even after 30 minutes, I could still hear her crying. Parah anjing. Bocah nangis depan komuk 30 menit didiemin, cok. Then for some reason, she slowly stood up and headed for the front door.
Kazuki,
where are you going?
だけじゃわからない。
Doesn't tell me anything.
やっぱり
I thought maybe I should call the police.
私
Because maybe I killed her.
待った、落ち着け。
Wait, calm down. I quickly ran over to her and grabbed her by the shoulder. Kamu apa bang? Kamu. Kazuki lost her balance and fell into my arms. I fell backward too, and was unlucky enough to knock my back up against the low table. I've written in pain for a minute, unable to breathe. As I waited for the pain to subside, fell into my arms itu apa bang? Iya. Kazuki slowly got off me and sat down next to me.
使いたく
I didn't
なかっ
want
た
to use them.
こんな結果
I
に
knew
なるかも
this might
カズキ
happen.
のせいじゃ
It's not your fault.
ない。
That was all I could say. I didn't want to think about whose fault it might be then. It wasn't my fault either. That woman was the one who had attacked me. I tried to tell myself this, but my hand wouldn't stop shaking. Kazuki put her hand on the top of mine. Ooh.
先輩
Malam bang. Ang Foret, halo.
握ってほしいかも
Halo Bu Bos, thank you ya buat rate-nya ya. Welcome guys, welcome. Halo Bang, halo dong Kicksout. Halo Bang, halo D28. Wih 28 cok. Angpol rate, wih angpol kok angpol rate. Ada teman-teman rate. Dede titik. Bos rate. Halo Here Garalea Mahpanca. Welcome ya kalian semua ya. Halo Bro Leonard, welcome to the stream. Welcome kalian semua. Mana angpol? Gak ada angpol. Angpol rate tapi gak ada angpol. Halo Icon, welcome to the stream ya. Simple man si wifi klik. Waduh. Nih, buat yang fetisnya paha ya. Tuh. Yang fetisnya paha, ayo siapa di sini ngaku? I was tiny and soft, and I was so happy to feel its warmth. Ampol disekap bubus bang, waduh kenapa tuh? Alamak. Huha. Huha hu. Aku. Oh my god. Kazuki lowered her head and started to cry again. Both she and I were in a state of agitation right now. Diajarin bos. Halo Yamo, welcome to the stream ya. Paha huha huha. Pada suka paha ya. We needed to take some time to calm down. Semangat mainnya Fedelish. Oke bos, thank you ya udah nge-rate ya bos. Kamu udah mampir. That felt like the best thing to do. We stayed like that for a while, holding each other's hand, and then we both fell asleep. I didn't dream. When I woke up, it was bright outside. I felt a warmth in my hand. Kazuki was still holding my hand, just like she had been when I fell asleep. Inggrismu bagus banget bang. Enggak, bagusan Inggrisnya Bu Bos kok. Ya gak bos? Kazuki, get up. She must not have been fully awake yet, because she didn't let go. Get up. Yoi, wis. Yoi dari kata bos ya. Perfect kata gue teh. She did a double take. She rubbed her eyes a few times, gawking at her hand and mine, then looked at my face and then back at her hand again. Perfect kata gue. Buset suara gue. This is apa tuh? Apa ini? Perfect kata Lewa. Bagusan lu bang. Loh, bos jago cok bahasa Inggrisnya. Kan si Bubo sudah siap collab sama VTuber IN kan. Bagus kan lu Leo. Her face was bright red and she was looking downward, but she didn't let go. Would you please not react that way? I'm not used to this stuff either, you know. There was nothing in Cool Cat Press about how to deal with this situation. Crap, I was starting to sweat. If Kazuki noticed, he might think I was creepy. Paling ngong-ngong. Waduh, siapa semangka? Anyway, will you let go? I can't go to the bathroom like this. Jangan ngulti lah Leo. Ngong-ngong The bathroom. Kenapa toilet? Finally, my hands was free. My body ached all over because I had slept like in such a weird position. Waduh. And my skin still stung a little. I remember this sensation from when I had gone swimming as a little kid and gotten sunburned. Kalem Leo, kalem. I closed my eyes and I could still see the red flame. It gave me goosebumps. I quickly shook the image out of my mind. After I used the restroom, I got Kazuki's permission to turn on the TV. It was about 9 a.m. We were late for school, but I didn't feel like going anyway. Viewers baru nyimak loh. Bro Leonard udah lama cowok di sini. I decided to skip today. There was a news program on, and just like I thought, it was talking about what had happened last night. Most of the video was of the burning cars around front gate though. Emang ya Leo, iya. Ini tadi Bubos habis collab ya? Tadi aku sempat lihat sih, cuman gak mampir gara-gara baru bangun terus pengen stream. We have an unconfirmed report that a suspicious woman entered the school as well. There are also reports that neighbor heard that sounded like several explosions inside the school grounds. There was also bloodstain and a mysterious object found on the roof. The police are investigating a possible terror link. Masih pemula, aing ajarin dong sepuh. Waduh, sepuh Leo mah suka merendah. Sepuh Leo ya. Will the police be okay if they touch it? Will they disappear like that woman? I took another look at my uniform. It had been too dark last night for me to see, but it was covered in blood. The blood had even soaked through to my undershirt. It made me feel sick just thinking about whose blood it was. I wanted to change, but of course, there were no men's clothes in Kazuki's room. Itu? Baju olahraga bisa? Maybe I should borrow her PC later and order some, anjir. How much did the police know anyway? Did they know who that suspicious woman was? Or who she was after? If the police did find out and came to question me, they would inevitably learn what happened after that.
いやいや
No, we don't know for sure that she is
まだ
that yet. And even if she was that was self-defense, they will then prosecute me. Right, of course they wouldn't. At least, that's what I tried to tell myself. When I remember what happened yesterday, it felt like my legs were going to start shaking again. I was worried about Arimura, but didn't know how to get in touch with her. I decided to go down to the public phone in the dorm lobby and call Serika to see if she knew anything. Om, oke. Si Pion, thank you, udah mampir ya? She told me that she and Kurusu were hiding Arimura in my RV. Duluan bang, oke Glek, sudah, thank you ya yang udah mampir ya. Angka subsnya bagus om. Yoi. She told me, ini tadi udah, that happened to run into her last night after we had been attacked by that woman. Oke bang, aing duluan ya mau coba tur. Oke bro Leonard, thank you ya udah mampir ya. Semangat live-nya. Oke. I was about to complain about them letting her use my house, but changed my mind. What was important was that Arimura was safe. Terika and Kurusu were both very worried about me. All Arimura had told them was that I had been attacked by a woman who could control fire. Ngopi jangan lupa, udah tadi. But I was as vague as possible. There was no way I could tell them what had happened yesterday. I hung up quickly without telling her where I was. Then I went back to my room.
今日
They
休校だって
say
さ
the school's closed today. That's what Kurusu had told me on the phone. The police were probably investigating.
和樹
Kazuki,
聞いていいか
can I ask you something?
ん
昨日お前は一体何をしたんだ
What did you do yesterday? Kazuki didn't answer.
言えないことなのか
Is it something you can't tell me?
お前も
You have some kind of special
能
power
力を使える
too,
んじゃないのか
don't you? Hello. He still didn't say a word. She had done so much talking last night, but now she was back to her usual self.
なあ喋れないわけじゃない
Man,
だろ
it's not like you
何
can't
も知らない
you
っていうわ
can't
け
talk,
でもな
right?
さそうだし
It seems like you know what's up to. Kazuki shook her head.
よくない
It might not be good, maybe.
よくない
Not good.
何が
What isn't good?
うん、
Mm,
私と
it
喋
might
る
not
の
be good if I told.
よく
Maybe.
ないかも
What did that mean? It probably had something to do with the way she had suddenly started talking last night.
先輩の知
There
りたい
might
こ
be
と
someone who knows the answer you want.
詳しい人
Maybe.
詳しい人
Someone who knows the
Oh.
answer I want. Where? Kazuki pointed to the low table in the center of the room. There was a small laptop on it. Okay. Hana Kazuki is a gigalomaniac and a special one. The critical point to remember is sound. In other words, her voice. She can spread the information in energy of a delusion with her voice. If you want a nice term to classify it, how about communicable gigalomania? What makes it difficult is that she lacks the power to control it, and she doesn't have any other power. Her power is useless. Sucks to be her. The person she was talking about was typing in the chat window on the screen. I was shocked to see the handle Night Heart on the screen.
Eh?
Bang, ini cerita lore gimana?
ってもしかして
Kalian teman-teman yang nonton anime tahu Steingate gak? Steingate ini pembuatnya sama. Jadi si pembuat cerita Steingate itu sama ini. Jadi mereka tuh masih ada kayak benang merahnya. Nah, Chaos Child ini kan aku udah lagi nyari ending 3 ya. Jadi cerita utamanya itu di Shibuya habis gempa. Setelah gempa, anak-anak mudanya tuh jadi punya kekuatan super. Kalau mungkin paling gampang kalau kalian tahu anime Charlotte. Charlotte kan anak-anak muda semua kan yang punya supernaturalnya. Kurang lebih kayak gitu. Cuman nggak sebanyak Charlotte gitu. Iya deh, lebih mirip Charlotte sih actually plotnya. Makanya super powernya ya, tapi plot ceritanya beda. Nah, di sini kita itu lagi kayak lagi nyari misteri gitu, kok orang-orang pada mati satu-satu gitu. Terus pas dicocokin, kok yang matinya ini yang punya super power doang gitu. Aku sih ceritanya. Ada anime juga. Ratingnya tinggi nih visual novelnya. Wait, is Night Heart? Lightning Fast Night Heart. The one who sometimes went by Night Heart, their bleach. Ini siapa namanya apa? Nama apa ini? The guy responsible for the Asper panic just before the earthquake. The one people said might have been deeply involved in the quake itself. I see. I gulp. There was so much I wanted to ask him. I could write a whole article just on him. Was Nightheart a gigalomaniac too? You hear, hello Buggies, welcome to the stream. Kazuki tapping expressionlessly away at the keyboard. Don't get jealous. What the hell? You were a god in ASO, but you're a trash noob in ASO too, right? You're low. That's because I moved to SO2 after a beta test and malah toksik-toksikan. Mampir bener, oke Bagis. Malah toksik-toksikan aja. Mungkin teman-teman yang suka game kompe gitu bisa follow Twitchku. Mungkin di description ada. Aku biasa stream Dota sih di situ, tapi siang. Jadi malamnya di sini, siangnya di situ, biasanya gitu. Katsuo Hana was her nickname. Do they type in those emoji by hand every time? You showed me that she had them register as shortcut on the keyboard, but that wasn't important right now. Supposedly, Kazuki and Nightheart knew each other online from being in the same SO2 guild. And you've been talking to him about your power. Kazuki nodded. Lightning Fast Nightheart, the legend himself. So the rumors were true after all. I was so excited, I was getting goosebumps all over my body. A lot of people said he was a fake after the Asper incident, but they were wrong. I realized a year after the earthquake that I had a special power, maybe. Ada Keiko mampir, bagaimana bisa? Bubos kadang ngerit sini sih. Bisa-bisa aja, mungkin tadi sih pada bilang ampul rate, katanya gara-gara ampul mungkin. Not that it did anything good for me. A year after the earthquake, that was years ago, so she knew about it this whole time. Wanted to ask why she didn't help me when I was trying to learn to use my telekinesis, but I stopped myself. Kikong nge-rate bang tadi. Iya, tahu. Si Bubos tadi nge-rate tahu. It probably had something to do with the reason why she never told. Ada kok baca ininya, notifnya. She had the power to put the information energy from her delusion into her voice. Tapi maksudnya kan dari sekian channel yang kepilihnya aku gitu, kenapa gitu. Siapa sangka kayak konkret. Bubos sudah nge-rate channelku kayaknya 3 kali deh. Nightheart had given it the long, and if you ask me, nonsensical name of communicable gigalomania. Is your power more or less what Nightheart said it was? Kazuki nodded.
最初は
At first,
周
I
囲で
just
お
thought
か
a
し
lot
な
of
こ
weird
と
things
よ
were
く
maybe
起きる
happening
かも
around me.
例えば
Like a
友
friend had a
達が
cute
持って
pen,
たペン
and
が
I
可愛
said
くて
I wanted,
欲し次の日
and the
なぜ
next
か
day the
そ
pen
の
was
ペン
mine.
家で飼ってた
And we
白
had
黒
this
の
really
う
ugly
ち猫
black and white cat at
すご
home
く
that I
ブサイ
loved.
クで好
One
き
day
だ
I
った
whispered
け
to
ど
myself that he would look
ケイヤ
better
は
as a
チャト
tabby,
ラの方がいいな本当に
and he
チ
really
ャトラ
turned
に
into
なっ
one.
そういうことがいろいろ
There was a lot of
小学
that
生
when I
の
was in
頃あった
elementary school about 5 years ago.
喋ったことが
What you said
現
become real? Hmm.
それだけじゃない
That wasn't all,
かも
maybe.
だけど
That wasn't all.
自分の言
When
葉
I say
の
something, I don't know what will
何が
become real
現実
and
化して
what won't, maybe.
何が現実化しない
Night
か
Heart had said she couldn't control it. Ah,
わかんないかも
I see, I see, I see. That's why she had been shouting all those words on the roof. He might have thought that at least one of the words. Iya sih, bener sih. Bener sih. Dari semuanya yang dia sebutin kayak 100 kata tadi cuman satu yang berhasil kan?
感染型っていうのはどういう意味
What did he mean when he said it was communicable?
中学の頃
When I was in the middle school,
仲いい
I had a
友
good
達がいて
friend.
いつも一
We
緒だ
were
った
always together.
その子と一緒
It
にい
was
る
so
の
much fun to
す
be
ごく
with her.
楽しくて
We were like sisters.
姉妹みたいだった
Waduh,
かも
udah kayak
でも
sisters.
私の力のせいで
Because of my powers. Her expression clouded. I thought she had stopped talking, but I was wrong.
きっかけは何
It
気な
all
い言葉だ
started
った
with a simple
か
word.
も
Maybe. Apa nih?
ごく普通の
A simple word in a
会話
normal
の中で
conversation.
もその言葉いろんな人に感染していって
But that word spread to a lot of different people. Wah, digibahin anjir.
私の知らないところで私の言葉は
And without me even
私の
realizing
言葉じ
it,
ゃなくなって
it stopped being my word.
全然
It turned
別
into
の
a
意味
different,
になっちゃ
a
って
whole
た
different meaning
かも
altogether,
自
maybe.
分でもそんな言
By
葉
the time I had forgotten,
喋ったの
I'll
忘
ever
れち
say
ゃった
that
くらいの頃
it became
その言
real.
葉がそのせいで
And because
私の
of
大切
And
な
because of it, her
友達
family
家族
was
バラバラになっちゃった
perusak keluarga orang anjir bocahnya.
その子のお父さん
Her dad committed
自殺し
suicide?
て
Okay.
その子のお母さ
Her
ん
mom started using drugs?
薬物
Damn.
手出して
Damn. 48 people are watching you right now. Iya iya Om Aldo. Tadi aku di rate sama Bu Bos. Bu Bos Keiko Links. Gak tau masih di sini apa nggak? Tadi 70 kayaknya Om Aldo. Her mom started using drugs.
その子のお姉さ
Her
ん
sister was kidnapped
知らない
by
男
strange
の人
men
たちに
and went missing.
その子は
She went crazy.
元をたどってい
And
った
then I
ら
figured out that maybe
私
it
の
was because
言
of
葉
my
のせい
words.
だうん
No,
かも
not
じゃなく
maybe.
て
It was.
こんな力
I wish.
なければよかったって思ったけど
Udah turu dia bang, Keiko udah turu. Kok kamu tahu dia bisa turu? I thought that was a bug. Waduh. Jadi kamu kalau kamu lihat angka tinggi di channel aku berarti ngerasa ngebug ya, Om Aldo ya. Maaf ya Om Aldo ya, channel ini terlalu sepi soalnya. I wish I could just get rid of this power.
なくすこと
But since I couldn't, I thought that if I never said another word, I wouldn't be able to hurt anyone else.
壁砲入ってから
You're the first person I've talked to since I came to Hekiho. Takuru. Om mau tanya apa Om? Lupa Om Nepu ada. So that's why she didn't talk. If she talk, her power might activate. And if that white knight heart, kok white knight heart anjir? What knight heart? Sorry. Say it was true. She couldn't control it. Nggak ya, gue nggak bilang. There was no way to prove whether or not what had happened to her in middle school was really because of her power. But even so, if she had been able to control it, she would probably ask herself that question a million times. Yes. Maybe remaining silent was her way of punishing herself. I asked Kazuki permission to type a question to Nightheart. May I ask a question? Why can't Kazuki control her power? No? Who are you? A member of her club at school. Oh, Miyashiro? How did you know my name? Kazuki told me about you yesterday. She said there was a moron in her club who had psychic power but didn't... Hmm? Her face went red and she frantically shook her head.
相談し
I
た
talked to
けど
him.
タクル先輩
You had gotten a
最
weird
近
power
嫌な
recently, maybe.
人前とかで
And I thought maybe
使
it
いすぎると
might not be a good idea to use it too much when other people were
で
around.
も
But I didn't
バ
call you a
カとか
moron.
言ってない
Maybe.
かも
Maybe? Why is that? This is just what I... Okay. You know, how you need a shredded idea. A shared idea to reboot delusion, right? Sometimes that delusion involves sex. Other times it... Huh? You can skip the jokes. I was serious. What the fuck? Kekuatannya apa bang si MC? Si MC atau apa? Si MC ya? Si MC itu kekuatannya... Kalau di awal-awal kelihatannya dia kayak ini. Dia kelihatannya kayak bisa telekinesis. Kelihatannya. Kayak Charlotte kan? Charlotte kan awalnya kelihatannya kayak bisa ngerasukin tubuh orang doang kan? Kelihatannya. Tapi kan di endingnya nanti ketahuan. Even if it echoes, it's extremely rare for it to reboot. Buset. Cepet banget masalahnya cok naik turunnya. When Kazuki speaks, Kazuki delusion is rebooted whether she wants. Okay. There's a lot of information to take in. I tried as hard as I could to understand everything that night Heart was saying. Oh, ini. It is a loss less it is a lot less reliable than implanting an image directly. Just like it's hard to visualize an image just based off of a description, right? Of course, an otaku like me can do that easy as long as it has something to do with what the fuck. But Kazuki's power has one other trait that makes it unique. When other people hear the sound, it echoes. Hello, Bubu, welcome to the stream. That's why I called it communicable. It's just like a rumor. It grows and changes as it spread. Like a game of telephone. Imagine a guy giving a speech in front of a station. Halo pacar Michi. Iya, halo jodohnya Michi. That will explain why it wasn't safe for her to talk. I must have been a terrifying possibility to her. So what about the SO2 portal device? It was rebooted last night when Kazuki spoke. Oh, so that new story was you guys. Why portal device? Someone who heard it just happened to know about SO2 portal device. It just happened to be rebooted. That's all. It's just a coincidence, of course. You could also say it's a coincidence that the other thing she said weren't rebooted. The second, the woman who was attacking us touched, she disappeared. Where do you think she went? Ah, you know, she probably dead, right? Look at that. He could type the word like they were nothing at all. Even though it was something neither Kazuki nor I wanted to accept. The portal device was the only one that got rebooted, right? I ran a net search and didn't see any others. In SO2, if you touch, you get warped. But if there's only one device, oh yes, see. The cold word appeared on the computer LCD. Kazuki and I both stare at them. She was dead. The woman was dead. Hearing it from an objective third party made me want to throw up. Oh, sorry, I gotta log off. Gotta go to Nippon Bashi and get me a Mimi anjir. Mimi Yume no Hara figure anjir. Was this kind of person that Nightheart was? I was a little disappointed, maybe.
変数2でし
I
か
can only see him
会
on
えない
SO2,
結構コン
so
タ
it
ク
may
ト
be a
取る
little
の
hard to get a hold of him, maybe.
ログインすれば大抵いるけど
He's usually there when I log in there. It was a weekday, but he said he was going to Nipponbashi. He also said he was traveling around the whole world. Both of those statements seem like lies. Was he, really? I didn't get to ask him about what happened 6 years ago either. But there was no point in thinking about Nightheart now. What should we do? Go to the police? Or pretend we don't know anything? Should we pretend that we weren't even at the school last night? Should I tell Serika and Kurusu? But rumors weren't something it could control. The more people that knew a secret, the more likely it was to leak. Bang, duluan also. Oke, Akan, thank you ya udah mampir ya.
僕と和樹だけの秘密にしよう。
Selamat turu mungkin kamu atau beristirahat. Let's keep what happened last night a secret between you and me.
それでしばらく様子を見る。
We'll just keep an eye on things for a while. I still didn't know why that woman had attacked me. Mana video seksi Kurusunya om? Iya om XY. I still didn't know why that woman had attacked us. It didn't seem to have anything to do with the return of the new generation man still. Jadi ya buat teman-teman yang nggak tahu ya 39 viewer ini, jadi Om XY ini emang agak mesum gitu ya. The way she attacked us was too different from the other murders. The most likely possibility was that she was a psychopath, but that was only a theory. Maybe someone else was controlling her. It would be best to be careful. I should avoid attracting any attention. Maybe I should shut down the newspaper club for a while too.
タクル先輩
Takuro senpai.
ごめんなさい
Gomennasai. For some reason, she apologized, even though it wasn't her fault. If anything, it was my fault for getting her involved.
これで分
Asaga.
かったかもしれないけど
Maybe she understands now. Maybe you understand now. But
私
you
と
shouldn't talk to
こ
me
れ以上
anymore.
話さない方が
Maybe
私の声
my voice make bad things happen.
引き
Gak
起こ
bisa
し
hapus
この
tolong.
声
I wish I never had it. She looked down, her expression sad. Her power was making her suffer. As an older student from her club, I should probably say something to her. Yeah, I used her power to save me, even though she hated it.
なあ、和樹。
Hey, Kazuki.
昨日、助けてくれ
Thanks
て
for saving me last night.
感謝してるんだ。
I'm really grateful.
その、
You-
和樹自身は力を嫌ってい
You
るかも
might
しれない
hate
け
your
どさ。
power? Maybe.
僕はその力のおかげで
Thanks to
今
that
も生きてる
power,
わけで。
I'm still alive.
それにほら、
And,
そう、
well,
あれだ。
you know,
そんなに
I don't think your voice is that bad.
可愛い声してるっ
It's
て。
cute, really. I'm not just
本当に。
saying that.
だから、そんなに自
But
分の
don't
声
get
の
so
ことを否定
desperate
す
about
る
your
な。
power. Wow, that was pretty embarrassing to say. I could feel the swab beading on my forehead. But Kazuki didn't respond at all. She was looking down at her cell phone. I looked closer and saw that there was a cord running from it to her ears.
っていつの間にかヘッ
When
ド
did
ホ
you
ンして
put
る
your
し。
headphones on? She didn't even hear that. What the hell? Selamat nonton ya guys. Adios. Semoga terhibur. Iya. I'll just have to go back to sleep. I went to a corner of the room, buried my head in my knees, and tried to sleep.
ありがとう先輩
Thank you, Takuru. For the next 2 days, Kazuki and I spent all our time in this morning doing nothing at all. A few days ago, I never would have imagined I'll be living in a room with a girl from my club. But sadly, nothing romantic had happened at all. But sadly, all I did was watch the news on TV. I wanted to look online, but Kazuki was using the computer the whole time and wouldn't give it to me. Even now, Kazuki was seated in front of the only computer in the room, a low-spec compact laptop. There was an angry glare in her eyes as she stared at it. It was like she was trying to intimidate her monitor. Her frustration was plain to see her on her face. She's a totally different person than the one who had cried as she had told me about her power 2 days ago. Actually, this was the Kazuki I always saw in the club room, wasn't it? She slammed her fist against the table in annoyance. I thought I could hear the sound of her gritting her teeth.
ゲームにそんな
Don't
に
get so
熱くなるのよ
emotional over a game. Did you lose a game? She was sulking. If you let her, Hanakazuki will spend the whole day playing video games. He will barely even eat. The only food in the room was dried squid and lollipops, both of which were available in enormous quantities. It freaked me out a little, honestly. Dia makannya lollipop sama ini terus ya, squid terus. Of course, thanks to them, I was able to eat something without having to leave. Kazuki ran her finger through her hair violently, trying to fan her frustration. He had been angry ever since yesterday. When I had asked her what was wrong, she had said, "This laptop is too crappy to run the game right." Basically, she was having withdrawal symptom from being unable to play her games. Sheesh. Then she slowly stood up and headed for the door.
ちょどこか
Where are
行
you
くの
going? For the past 2 days, she had been unwilling to leave the room. She's probably still thinking about what had happened at the school. I had felt bad about it, since I was the one who had gotten her involved. Has she recovered?
学校
Cool.
ゲームしに
Gonna game.
お前な
You're kidding me. I was too shocked to say anything. She couldn't handle playing the game on her low-spec PC anymore. Sure. Masalahnya, dia pergi ke sekolah buat main PC yang lebih bagus anjir, Omexoy. I felt like I had solved the mystery of why she was always playing in the club room. It was never clear if that computer belonged to the school or was someone's personal property. It was one of the 7 mysteries of the newspaper club. I didn't really try to stop her. I didn't feel like going to school yet. Part of it was that if I did, I'll remember the terror I had felt. But more importantly, I didn't want to answer all the questions Kurusu and Ito were going to ask. That was why I'll spend the last 2 days cooped up in this room. No one knew I was here right now. I've been getting calls from Serika and Kurusu all day since yesterday, but I had ignored them all. I was sure Kazuki was going to leave, but instead she turned around once she got to the front door. It looked like she was still hesitant about going outside.
そんなにゲームって面白いのか
Is the game that much fun? I've never been able to get into a game as much as Kazuki did. All I ever did was play a few to kill some time. But when I saw Kazuki's life seem to revolve around her game, I started to wonder what was so interesting about it.
なあ、
Hey,
さっき和樹がやっていたゲーム
can I try that
僕もちょっ
game
と
you
や
were
ってみてい
playing
い
a
か
little? Kazuki nodded, so I sat down in front of the PC. The game screen was still displayed on the monitor. It was a Western game called Call of Counterfield.
これ銃で撃ち合うゲーム
Call of Counterfield, eh? This is one of those games where you shoot each other with guns, right? FPS. I think they're called FPS, right?
どうやって操作
How
す
do
る
I control it? Anjir. Kazuki sighed a little and came over to me. Aku pamit dulu mau ngerjain PR. Adios. Iya PR. Put your hand on the mouse. She moved my hand to the mouse. My hand was on top of the mouse and Kazuki's hand was on top of mine. He was so close. He was right on top of me.
移動はキーボードの
Use
W
WASD key on the keyboard to move, shift to dash,
ダッシュはシフトキー。
and G to throw
グレ
grenade.
ネード投げるのが G。
I was too focused on Kazuki to listen to what she was saying.
じゃあ
Okay,
やってみて。
try it.
かも。
Kazuki started the game without me. I was placed into the lobby while the game matched me with someone else, but only for a second before it threw me right into the middle of a match.
なんだこ
What's
れ
going on? I was so caught off guard that I panicked a little, and when I moved, the screen was jerky. It was really hard to control. Even if I found someone to try and shoot, they'll shoot me first and I'll die. I ended the game with 0 kills and Angel 031. It was not good. I don't know how Kazuki managed to play when the screen was this jerky. The computer specs were nearly good enough. I felt like I understood why she was so stressed out.
タクル先輩
Takuru,
下手くそ
you suck.
かも。
Kan baru nyoba bang. Kan baru nyoba main anjir. Masa iya udah pro?
初心
I'm
者
a
だし
beginner and the
画面
screen's
カクカ
real
クだし
jerky.
それにその
And I couldn't stop thinking about what was touching my arm, so I
集中
couldn't
できなかった
concentrate.
から
He kept whispering, "Not that way, dummy. No, not there," in my ear too.
手だってずっと置きっぱなしだし
And your hands been on the top of mine the whole time. Kazuki's right hand had been on top of mine during the whole game. Kazuki seemed to finally notice how close we were. He was right next to me, so close I could feel her breathing. Her eyes went wide and her face flushed. Her breath tickled my cheek. Neither of us had showered. Anjir, belum mandi 2 hari, Jo. So I could smell the sweat on her body. Banyak viewer baru membuat dubbing jadi makin keras dan semangat. Enggak, jir, sama aja. We were close enough to kiss. Cool Cat Press will tell me that this was a sign it was okay to push her down. We were alone in her room. I couldn't take my eyes off her soft lips. This was bad. I didn't know what was going on, but this had to be bad.
カズキ
Kazuki.
うん
Hmm?
僕は
I...
うん
Hmm? Nah lo. Suddenly the intercom rang. Pantesan dari suaramu aku kecilin. Udah aku gedein jadi keras. Oh kamu kecilin. Oh iya kamu sukanya yang kecil-kecil ya. Yang kayak 14 tahun gitu ya. Sorry. I came back to my sense and leaped away from Kazuki. That scared me. And it saved me too. If it hadn't interrupted, I might have put my hands on Kazuki. It was something that superficial normals did. I wasn't like those normal. I was a more stoic sort of normal. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Kazuki glanced at me as I tried frantically to calm myself down, then pick up the intercom receiver. Wait, she didn't talk on the intercom either? How was she supposed to communicate with anyone? Kazuki slowly put down the receiver. It looked like she had managed to communicate with them. Di sini angka 14 agak keramat ya. Kenapa angka 14? She turned to me and looked like something was troubling her.
いや喋
No,
ってい
it's
いよ
okay to talk. Please talk,
の
actually.
の先輩が来
No,
た
no, it's here.
かも。
Maybe. That's right, just talk normally. It will take more than a word or two to doom me.
は
No one was here. I was doomed. Why would Kurusu visit Kazuki's room? Of course, there was only one reason.
学校に
You
は
weren't
来ない
at school, you
ト
weren't
レーラー
at
ハウス
your
には帰っ
RV,
てこない
you were at a
青
dorm,
葉寮に
or
も
at
戻ら
Serika's
ない
place, or
セ
at
リカの
Ito's
ところ
place.
となれば
Which
その
meant
次の
that
選
this
択
will
肢
be
は
my
ここ
next
です
choice. You don't have a lot of
タクル
friends.
は友達少
So I
ないか
can't
ら
imagine
新
who will
聞
you
部の部
go
員以外
to
に頼
that
れる
was
人
in a
はいなさ
newspaper
そうだ
club.
し
What?
まさか
I never
本
honestly
当に和
believed
樹の部
I
屋
would
に押し
find
かけ
you
ている
here
なん
in
て
Kazuki's room
夢に
though.
も思わなかったけど
I was relieved to see that Kurusu looked healthy. I probably didn't have to worry about her knife wound anymore. But she was mad. This was the extra mad version of Kurusu, and it was my own fault for calling Sarika once on Tuesday morning and then ignoring everyone's calls. I wanted to run away if I could.
それで聞
Wakabur
かせ
deh.
てくれない？
So,
どう
are
し
you
て
willing
タ
to
クルが
talk
和樹の
about
部屋にいるの
this?
か？
About this first? What are you doing in Kazuki's room? That's where she wanted to start. You didn't care about what happened when I was attacked by pyrokinetic.
タクル、答えな
Takuru,
さい。
answer me. Waduh,
No.
bikin.
成り行きで
It just kind of turned out that way.
月曜日のこと
Does
が
it have
関係
something
して
to
い
do
るの？
what happened Monday? Kazuki and I both nodded at the same time.
そう。
I see.
だからって、
But do you really
同
think
年
it's
代の女子
appropriate
の部屋
for a
に
high
3
school
日間
boy
も居
to
座ってい
stay
る
in
の
a
は
girl's room
高
for
校生
3
として
whole
の自覚
days?
に欠けると思わない？
Good point. You could tell she was the student council president.
和樹に迷惑だと思わないの？
You didn't think it would bother Kazuki?
それは
Well,
ううん
Kazuki shook her head. She was embarrassed for some reason. Heavily, she hadn't thought it was a bother.
本当に？
Really?
タクルが先輩だから遠慮し
You're
てい
not
るん
just
じゃない？
saying that because he's older than you.
うん。
Kazuki kept shaking her head. She seemed to have no intention to talking.
もしかして、
Are you too? Maybe.
あなたたち、
Are you
付き合って
dating?
いる
Is that
とか
it? Hmm. Both Kazuki and I shook our heads as hard as we could. I mean, well, I could understand where she had gotten that idea.
そうなの。
I see. For some reason, Kurusu looked a little relieved.
タクル、
Nakuru, you're
もう
okay now,
大丈
right?
夫なのよね。
By okay, she probably meant what happened Monday. I was sure that she had been worried too.
大丈夫。
I'm okay, I think.
僕らを襲ってき
The
たあの
woman
女
who
は
took us isn't in Shibuya anymore, probably. Of course, I didn't say that because I killed her.
だったら、学校に出てきたら？セリカや伊藤君も心配
Then
して
why
る。
not come to school? Sarika and Ito are both worried.
家に一人でいる
If
の
you're
が不
worried
安な
about
ら、
being home
青葉寮
alone,
に来ればいいし。
you can come to Alba dorm.
そういうわけにはいかな
I
い。
can't do that.
もしかしたら
It's
あ
possible
の
that
女の
woman
狙い
was
は
after
最
me
初から
from the
僕だった
start.
かもしれないんだ。
Even if the odds were low now, they weren't zero.
だからクルスや尾上と一緒にいると巻き込んでしまう。
So if I'm with you and Onoe, I might get you
青
involved.
葉寮には父さんやユイやユウトもいるんだ。
And that you and Yuto are at Alba dorm.
和樹なら巻き込んでもいいって
So
いう
it's
こと？
okay to get Kazuki involved then.
それは
Well, I already got her
和
involved.
樹はすでに巻き込んでしまったんだ。
Kurusu's there at my clothes.
だから
I hadn't changed out of the bloodstained shirt since Wednesday. Kurusu will be really worried about that, of course.
やっぱり、学校での事件はあなたたちが関係していたのね。
So you were involved in what happened at school, then. I nodded.
一体
What
何が起きた
happened?
の？
和樹は
Kazuki is... Kazuki and I look at one another, but Kazuki quickly looked down. I needed to keep her power. And what we had done at school on Monday is secret.
僕を助けてくれた。
Kazuki saved me. That
そ
means
の
they
おかげで
might come
カスタ
after
ム
her
で
too.
それだけしか。
That's all I can say.
これはクルスや尾上たちを
Part
巻
of
き込ま
that
ない
is
た
to
めでもあるん
keep
だ。
you and others safe. Please understand.
いつもと同じね。
It's the same story as always, huh? Kurusu smiled sadly.
うんうん。
No,
Eva.
it's nothing.
クルス、
Kurusu.
僕は
Hmm? Kazuki suddenly over us pulled a lollipop. Hmm. She was trying to say that these were for us evidently.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
まったく。
She's.
セリカとは違う意味でマ
He
イペー
can
ス
be a
だったね。
little like Serika. Kurusu chuckled and sighed, then took the lollipop. She didn't put it in her mouth though. I took it, unwrapped it, then plopped it in my mouth. It tastes like strawberry. Cloyingly sweet flavor soon filled in my mouth. I filled my
和
mouth.
樹はタクルに迷惑かけられてない？
Kazuki, you are sure Takura is not causing trouble
言い
for
たい
you?
ことがあれば言っていいの
If
よ。
there's something you want to say, you can say it.
うんうん
Hmm.
いいの？
You're sure?
そう。
I see. Takuru may be your senior at school,
ここはあ
but
なたの
this
部屋
is
なん
your
だから。
room. Feel
主
free
張
to
する
set
ところは
ground
吉。
rules.
それと和樹、
Kazuki,
あなたお風呂入ってる？
are you bathing properly?
入ってないで
You're
しょ。
not, are you?
タクルがいる
Is
せい？
it because Takuru's here?
ううん。
Kazuki's face became beet red as she shook her head. It wasn't my fault. It was because she had been playing too many video games.
私がタクルのこと見張っているから、今からシャワーだけでも浴び
I
てく
keep
れ
an
ば。
eye on Takuru, so why not take a shower now?
その後で買い出しに行ってくるわ。どうせちゃんとした食事してないでしょ。簡
After
単なも
that,
のだ
I'll
け
go
ど作ってあ
shopping.
げる。
You don't have any real food, right? I'll make you something simple.
タクルの着替えも必要でしょうし。
Takuru needs to change of clothes too.
あ、それ
Oh,
は。
that will be great.
ほら、カズキ。
Come on,
さ
Kazuki,
さっ
get
と動い
going.
て。
Kurusu practically shoved Kazuki into the bathroom. Before long, I heard the sound of falling water. This was awkward. It was awkward enough being here with Kurusu, but I could hear almost every sound Kazuki made as she showered.
カズキはタクルに心を開
Has
いたのかし
Kazuki
ら。
opened up to you? I wonder.
セリカと違って
Is that like Serika?
カズキは誰に対しても壁を作っているから。
He puts up wall with everyone, sorry.
あの子を見ていると
Sometimes when I see her, I wonder if inviting her to join the newspaper club was a good idea.
そういえば、
Come to think
和
of it,
樹を部に連れて
you
き
were
た
the one who brought her to the club.
ええ、
Yeah,
新学
a
期
few
が
days
始まっ
after
て
the school year
何
started.
日かその日は風が強くてね。
The wind was
あの
blowing
子
really hard
一
that
人でプ
day.
リントの山を
He
運ん
was
でいたんだ
carrying
け
a
ど、
huge pile of
それ
handouts,
が風で飛ばされ
and
ちゃ
the
って
wind caught
困って
them
た。
and blew them away.
だから
So I
拾うのを
helped her
手伝
pick
ってあ
them
げ
up.
たの。でも
But
あの通り
he doesn't talk at all, you know?
この子
So I
大
was
丈夫
worried
か
about
な
her
って心
and
配
went
に
with
なって
her to the teacher's
職員
office.
室まで。そしたら
And
カ
then,
ズキが何も
since
言えないのを
Kazuki
聞い
couldn't
たこと
talk,
に
the teacher started asking her to do all this other stuff.
カズキが断れないでいたのを見かねて口を出したの。
Ah, I got upset at how Kazuki couldn't refuse and interrupted them.
そんなことがあって、
Then
部
later,
活に入
I
ってい
said
ない
if
な
she
ら
wasn't
新
in a
ルーム
club,
においでって
she might
誘った
try
んだけ
newspaper
ど、
club.
おとなしそうだったか
You
ら
look like a
部活の
quiet
こと興
girl,
味
so
な
I
いかも
thought
って思
maybe
っ
she
て
wouldn't
た。
want to be in a club.
そしたら
So
何
when
日
she
か
suddenly
して
showed
部
up
室にひょっこり
several
顔を
days
出した
later,
か
I
ら
was
私
surprised.
の方がびっ
Yes,
くりしちゃった。
so that's how it happened. It was just like Kurusu.
でもあの子が何を考えているのかなか
But
なかわか
I
らなく
never
て、
know what she's thinking.
私に言われて
I still
仕方
wonder
なく新
if
聞
she
部に
only
入ったん
joined
だ
the
ったら
newspaper
どうし
club
ようっ
because I
て。
told her to.
本人は毎日部室に来てい
He's
る
there
の
every
だ
day, so I
いや
don't
いや
think she
っていうこ
hates
とは
it.
ないと思う。
Her main reason was probably to play video games. Iya, Cok. Dia di sana buat main doang ya di clubroom ya. But now, I knew why Kurusu was more concerned about Kazuki than anyone else in the club.
和樹はきっと
I think Kazuki's
クルスに、その
grateful to
感謝
you.
してるんじゃないかって
Well, I don't know for
僕
sure,
は思
but
うよ。
I was
Yeah, well,
mumbling and
実際はわからない
stumbling
けれど。
over my words because it felt kind of like I was talking about myself.
和樹のこと
Take care of Kazuki, okay?
仲良くしてあげ
Be
て。
her friend.
分かってるよ。
I knew we're in the same
同じ
club
部員
after
なん
all.
だし
He really was nosy. That was why everybody counted on her so much as a student council president. And then the door to the bathroom opened and Kazuki came tumbling out.
ずいぶん早いわね。
It was fast.
5分も経ってないんじゃない？ちゃんと髪洗ったの？
It hasn't even been 5 minutes, has it? Did you wash your hair? Her hair was a little wet, and her cheeks were a little flushed from the hot shower. I could smell the pleasant scent of shampoo. Why did she look a little cuter than usual? Sorry. Now that she was out of the shower.
ほら、ちゃんと髪拭きなさい。
Come on, dry your hair properly. What do? Kurusu smiled gently and started to dry Kazuki's hair with towel. Ini mah kesukaannya Om XY nih, harus ku screenshot. Kesukaan sama XY, iya.
そんなに慌てて出てこなくてもよかったのに。
Nih kita taruh di Discord. Loh, kok aku loh? Katanya pamit. Katanya pamit sama XY. Kazuki fidget as she let Kurusu try bangke, and then her stomach rumble. Both Kurusu and I burst out laughing.
お腹空いたの
We're
ね。
hungry.
いいわ。
Okay.
タクルの着替え
I've
も
gotta
取りに
go
行かな
get
きゃい
some
けないし。
clothes for
ついでに
Takeru.
買い出しも
I'll do
して
some
くる。
shopping while I'm out.
食べたいものある？
Is there something you want to eat?
なんでもいいのね。
Anything's okay, right? For some reason, Kazuki got on the ground and bowed in gratitude. About an hour later, Kurusu came back and made us a simple meal. The table was lined up with fried ginger pork, tofu, and onion miso soup, and a spinach salad.
本当に簡単に作ったものだから味は保証できないけど。
I used some really simple recipe, so I can't guarantee that it will be good. But I knew exactly how good at cooking Kurusu was. Until recently, she had cooked for me every day. And Kurusu was best at simple dishes like this. She will make several of them in the blink of an eye. Kazuki was looking at Kurusu's face to see if it was okay to eat.
どうぞ。
Go ahead. Kazuki put her hand together and bowed her head. She might not say anything, but she had good table manners. He took a bite of the ginger pork. After just one bite, her face broke out into a grin. I don't know if I will ever seen Kazuki smile like that before. Yang kacamata temannya siapa bang? Hah? It felt like I was seeing something really rare. Maksudnya? She hadn't eaten any real food for the past 2 days, and normally she only ate lollipop and dried squid. Kurusu's cooking must have been a real feast for her.
気に入ってくれたみたい
You
ね。
like it,
よか
I
った
guess. I'm glad.
タクルも食べ
You
なさ
eat
い。
too, Takuro.
育ち盛りの男の子なんだから。
Iya, itu dia temenan sama siapa semuanya. You're a growing boy. She was in her big sister mode now. But for now, I will be the obedient little brother. My top priority at the moment was filling my stomach. Mukanya jadi gini. Kazuki was staring at Kurusu as if in a trance. A small piece of ginger pork still sticking out of her side of. I had already learned from Cool Cat Press what that expression meant. It was the look of a woman in love. Wait, did Kazuki like girls? No. There was no way. She was probably just looking up to Kurusu because she was older. Was it Serika who had told me that the girls in puberty were like that a lot?
ちょっとカズキ、ぼーっとしてないで。
Kazuki, stop spacing out and chew your food.
それと、
Minum bang, nggak mau.
肘をつかな
And
い。
get your elbows off the
Yogi baru
table. It's bad manners. Hey, Kurusu. Kazuki is grateful to you for asking her to join the newspaper club. Maaf ya guys, bengek maklum dah tua. Itu kamu yang tua. I have been with her the whole time over the past 3 days. Temenan nama Michi. Iya. Temenan nama Michi. The disasters struck Shibuya 2 days after that. The two of us were watching the afternoon news when they suddenly switched to a live broadcast near Shibuya Station. The young female reporter was leading a cameraman up the twisty, thin street that ran from the station to Dogenzaka. Momichi loh. Kok mau? Katanya udah jodoh. Kok mau? The text on the screen said, mysterious object appears in Shibuya. What is it? I'm here on the street. That's a 3-minute walk from Shibuya Station. Look at this mysterious object. The reporter pointed to a 1-meter tall object that was floating at the end of the street. Both Kazuki and I recognized it at once. We had seen it ourselves just a few days before.
ポータル装置
Portal device. Kazuki looked shocked. Her gaze was frozen on the TV screen. What was going on? There was no way the portal device could be on a street near the station. We had seen it on the top of the school. This object was discovered after an anonymous call this morning. The young reporter moved in front of the device and continued to speak. The police, after a thorough investigation, have blockaded the area. The police say that it might be a bomb, but it seems very pretty, don't you think? It's glowing with this strange, dreamy light. I would love to see what it looks like at night, personally. Siapa sih jodoh sama dia? Aku nggak ada ngomong begitu, emang iya? Udah sama-sama bulan April gitu kan? Gila gak sih? What's particularly odd is that there doesn't seem to be anything supporting it. It appears to be floating in the air. How does it do that? Oi, what's that? The cameraman on the TV show was never supposed to speak, but this one did. The reporter stopped talking and turned around to face the portal device. The cameraman showed that it was changing. The whole portal device was starting to emit a golden light. Look, the object is... It's shining brighter than before. What happened? The scene is in an uproar. Get back. It's dangerous. Get back. Oh, a police officer is telling us to get back. This is bad, isn't it? But it's so pretty. Let's go take... Anjir, udah disuruh menjauh, tapi itu cakep. Ayo kita mendekat gitu kan. Wait, no. The reporter gave a signal to the cameraman and started to walk toward the device. I gulped as I waited to see what will happen next. It's not a good idea to get close to that, I said in my mind. Of course, no matter what I said here, the reporter on the screen couldn't hear me. What do you suppose is making it shine like that? When you look closer, you can see tiny particles of light swirling around it, like it's like art. Oh, the particles are coming together. Wow, it's so pretty. It's like one of those things in old sci-fi movies. What do you call them? Holograms? Is this shape supposed to be some kind of animal? Or maybe it's a dinosaur? The reporter was as shifty as ever. She was speaking the same way as she would do a full reporter at a local restaurant. I could see that flag popping up everywhere. I had a bad feeling. And I couldn't help but remember the last look on that woman's face before she had disappeared a few days ago. That object on the screen was the same thing. This reporter was going to disappear as well. Dipegang sama dia. I look away, not wanting to see it. I could hear the reporter raise her voice in surprise. I looked back at the monitor. What? Ini kan bus yang di SO2 ya? And I saw a monster I had never seen before. I thought I had switched the channel somehow. But I could see the reporter on the same screen as the monster. At first, I thought it was CG. That's how unreal it seemed. It looked like a dinosaur. Its skin was bright red. Its legs were as big as a human torso and had giant wings on its back. Its weak-looking black horns bent inwards toward its jaw. There were 5 golden orbs like jewels shining on its forehead. I couldn't see any eyes where you might expect them to be. Even on 4 legs, it was over twice the height of a human. And there were fangs in its huge mouth. The particles of light had come together to form the monster, and the TV camera had captured every second of it. If it wasn't CG, it was unreal. The monster was moving too.
逃げろ。
I whispered without even thinking about what I was doing, but the reporter was getting excited instead. Wow, what kind of magic is going on here? This big lizard dinosaur appeared right out of nowhere. It's huge and it's moving. It's like the real thing. I'm really not sure how it. Yeah. Anjir, langsung dimakan, cok. It ate her. The reporter had gotten close to it, and it had swallowed her head in one bite. Kazuki suddenly gave a start and screamed. The monster finished gnawing on the reporter's head and then grabbed the headless body in its mouth and shook it violently. Oh. The cameraman screamed and the video shook violently too. He must have thrown down the camera and ran. The image was a fixed shot of the monster leg and the bloody head lying on the ground. And then, who said? The monster roared. Its thick legs started to move. It kicked the woman's head away. And then abruptly stepped on the camera since the video cut out. Then the TV switched back to showing the studio where the newscaster and the commentator were pale and sickly looking. Soon the image changed to a public field of flower with message reading, "Please stand by." This was a nightmare. This was a live broadcast, right? That meant all of that really happened. Kazuki was covering her mouth with her hand and shaking. Her eyes were fixed on the screen, on TV screen. What was that?
なんだ。
Kazuki slowly turned toward me, but she was too shocked to speak.
今のはなんだ。
What was that? I ran over to her and started to shake her shoulder. He forced out the word with tears in her eyes.
フレームアークドラゴン
A flame arc dragon, maybe.
S2 に出
It's
て
a
くる
monster from
レア
SO2.
モンスター
It's
だ
a
け
rare
ど
monster,
序盤から
but
出
you
て
see
く
it
るから
in the start of the game. So every SO2 player know it, maybe.
それって
That means
私の
my delusion are still,
反響
they're still
続いてるん
echoing.
だ
So a fictional monster appeared in reality. Damn. But Kazuki didn't make any kind of wish like that Monday night. So where did it come from? Had the words she had said changed somehow? Kazuki can't control her own power. I remember what Nightheart had said and shuddered. A minute later, I boot up SO2 and saw that Nightheart was logged in as well. I decided to talk to him immediately. Did you see the news afternoon? Not in real time, I saw that got uploaded. At-chan having a festival. Remember the document puzzle? He was enjoying all this. What an asshole. But I guess I was on the same when I was following the new return and following the return of the new generation madness to the newspaper club. Jokes aside, that news broadcast was bad news. This isn't just about Shibuya anymore. The community might take action. Who? The community of 300. You know them? Basically the fast organization that controls the world from the shadow. Sounds like bullshit. but it exists anyway, and they might take action. Might be a war, possibly a war. I don't know what you mean. You might be happier not knowing. I look into it on my site. If something comes up, I'll tell you. The hell else could it be? You saw the portal device? Yeah. Just so you're sure the portal device didn't move. This is the second one, right? Yes. I just had a friend go look for me and it was still there. So, do you think it's possible we'll see the woman who attacked us again? You mean she might not really be dead? I get it. You're seriously blah 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 blah. Isn't it possible? Second portal blah blah blah. Didn't notice it. I know. I said that I was sure she was dead because. But even if there were two, I can't imagine her surviving the teleport. Fucking arse drag that ate the reporter. Flame arse. Oh. If it can make a dragon, it should be able to make a portal device. She might still alive. Why not go look then? Find out how many portal devices have appeared in Shibuya. Find out if anything besides the F booted. Waduh. Oh, I can't help by the way. Gotta grind SO too. Anjir. Yes, obviously. I was trying to end things with a gag so this wouldn't get too serious. Sorry, but I'm not in Shibuya right now. If the comedy intervenes... Waduh. A fast conspiracy that controls the world from the shadow, huh? That sounded like bullshit. Even movies didn't have plots like that these days. Since there was nothing I could do about that, I'll leave it to Nightheart. That was more important to us was the portal device. Investigated, huh? Kazuki was looking angrily at the log of conversation with Nightheart. I gritted my teeth too. Even if we did investigate the portal device, what were we supposed to do then? If it was created by Kazuki, would we be able to destroy it or get rid of it? No, that's part of what we are investigating, right? Even if she couldn't control her power, it was Kazuki's who had created it. She couldn't pretend to ignore it. There was even a dragon running around now. More people could die. I guess we don't have a choice, huh? We might be attacked out of nowhere like we were before. That's why I hadn't wanted to leave, but I wasn't tough enough to just leave something that dangerous out there and hide in here forever. I ran to Harajuku and got a cell phone, so I will be able to keep in touch with the other, and then call Serika after school. Oh, Taku, what's up? Feels like coming to school, but too bad. They closed it after lunch. Close it? Shibuya was sealed off, right? So they closed the school too. I see. Where are you now? Serika. At Lax. This place isn't sealed off. Oh. I need your help. I told her I wanted to know how many portal devices had appeared in Shibuya. I don't mind helping, but... What? Non is right in front of me. She's telling you not to do anything dangerous. I can feel the silent pressure telling me to put her on the phone. I see. So Kurusu was with her too. Of course, I could understand why she would be mad. It's just like Serika had said after a shocking incident. On the news this afternoon, the police had sealed off Shibuya over the course of a few hours. The number of people on the street was dropping fast. Supposedly, the National Diet was holding a debate about bringing in the self-defense forces. Of course, they still hadn't gotten rid of the portal device or the flame dragon. Kurusu probably wanted to tell me that there was nothing an amateur like me could do. But this was unlike the other investigation the newspaper club had done. I glanced over at Kazuki. He was looking down silently.
信じてもらえないかもしれ
You
ない
may
けれ
not
ど、
believe this, but
あ
that
の化け物が
monster
出てきたの
that showed up might be
僕と
me
和樹
and
のせい
Kazuki's
かもし
fault.
れない。
Eh?
どういうこと
What do you mean?
詳しくは
I
話せな
can't
い。
talk much about
と
it.
にかく
Just curious, well, we are not doing this because we are curious.
あの装置とモンスターを何とかして消すための方法を見つけたいんだ。
I want to find a way to get rid of that monster and those devices.
そっか。
I see. I guess that wasn't enough to persuade her. Or so I thought.
オッケー。
Okay,
のんちゃんは私が説得する。
I'll pursue. None.
本当か？
Really?
それと、
And
しん
Shin
ちゃんと
really
連絡
wanted
欲し
to
がって
call
たから
and wanted you to
協
call
力お願い
him.
してみたら
Why not
きっと
ask
喜
him
ぶ
for
と
help?
思うよ。
I'm sure he will love it.
ああ、そうだな。
Oh yeah,
連絡してみ
I'll
る。
try. So are you going to stay with Hana?
そっちは二人で行動するの？
Are the two of you going to work together?
ああ、
Yeah,
そう
that's
する
the
つもり。
plan.
じゃあ、
Alright.
私は新線から渋谷駅の方へ向
Well,
かってみよう
maybe
か
I'll
な。
go from Shinsen
のん
towards
ちゃんと
Shibuya
散歩デー
Station.
ト。
I can have a walking date with Non-chan.
頼む。
Thanks.
ただし、もしポー
But
タル
if you
装
find
置
a
を見つけ
portal
ても
device,
絶対に
device,
近づいちゃダメだからな。
make sure you stay away from it.
オッケー。
Okay.
それと、
And be
日が
back
暮れる前には
home
家に
before
帰るようにして
sunset.
くれ。
Tell Kurusu that too.
オッケー。
Okay.
本当に分かって
You
るの
really
か？
understand.
特に尾上はマ
You've
イペー
got a
スに
bad
突き進んで
habit
いく
of
ところ
doing
がある。
whatever you feel like sometimes.
そうかな。
Do I?
そうかも。
Maybe I do.
でもほら、私ってコソコソするの得意だし。
But you know, I'm good at being sneaky.
あるよ。
I'm sure nobody will find me.
それは知ってる
I
け
know
ど、
that, but
とにかく注意して行動してくれよ。
オッケー。
okay.
じゃあ報告は明日ってことでいいかな。
So I'll report in tomorrow.
学校は明日
I
も
guess
休みだ
school's off tomorrow too, isn't it?
だったら昼頃に部室に集合しよ
So let's all meet up at the club room around noon.
オッケー。
Okay. After I finished giving my instruction to Serika, I made the same call to Ito. When I asked for his help, he was a little too eager to agree. He seemed like he had been really bored the past few days, and the frustration had been building up, he would say. So I had him head north from Abisu to Shibuya Station. Once I had finished telling him everything he needed to know, I hung up.
う。和樹、僕らも
Suki,
行こ
it's time for us to go to. We decided to head from the dorm to the station, checking every back street and alley we found along the way. The first thing we did was head for the school. It was dead silent. There wasn't a single car. Not only were there no Hekiho Academy, there weren't even any pedestrians. Had Shibuya ever been this empty at any time since the quake? 6 years ago, there had been rubble everywhere. And I have felt so alone, as I have faced what seemed like the end of the world. But this seemed different. It didn't seem lonely, it seemed strange. The town was still pristine, but all the people were gone. Hello, Aya Omaldo, welcome to the stream. It was like a ghost town. All the shops had their shutters lower. They had closed for the day, it seemed. Everyone had run off as fast as they could. It made sense after what they had just seen on live TV. We tried to pay as much attention to our surrounding as possible as we had it forward. Yeah, Omaldo, kamu kenapa Omaldo? We were especially careful at the intersection. Another monster like that dragon could come rushing out of the shadow at any instant. If we ran into one of them, we wouldn't stand a chance. I could hear the faint sound of someone yelling into a microphone in the distance. Shibuya area is extremely dangerous at this time. Please stay indoors and evacuate to the designated safe zones. Wasu Fedelish yang dengan oke Maldo, selamat turu. I could see a patrol car in the distance moving slowly. Selamat tidur ya. Thank you, udah mampir. There was probably an officer inside the car using his microphone to urge people to evacuate. Hah? Ada ghetto kah? Kenapa ada ghetto, cok? The car was slowly heading toward us. If we stayed out here, the policeman will tell us we had to leave Shibuya. That will be the end of our investigation.
和樹こっちだ。
Oh ini Shibuya ini Shibuya Attack. Itu Shibuya Attack ya? Enggak beda. Kazuki this way. Tapi ya si di Jepang sering bikin ceritanya latar tempatnya Shibuya ya. I ducked down a narrow alleyway so the car wouldn't find us. I felt like a criminal running from the police. Of course, if the portal device appearance really was our fault, maybe that wasn't totally wrong. We ran left and right through the maze of the alleyways and finally came out in front of the park. I gasped at what I saw there and quickly hid in the shadows. Kazuki wasn't as quick as I was, so I grabbed her hand and pulled. I ended up pulling her tightly up against my body with my arms around her.
悪い。
Oh, Arui. I quickly let go. Kazuki didn't seem bothered by it. She just adjusted her glasses.
今の
Did you see that? This time, I quietly popped my head out to take a look. Anjir. There was another portal device in front of the park, and around it were 3 monsters. Anjir, 3 cok, satu udah ini. Selamat pagi ya, iya ya pagi. One was a yellow and black dragon. Was it a different color version of the one that had eaten the reporter? Now that I saw it up close, I was astonished at its size. The other 2 were 2 lag giants covered in thick white fur, a little less than 3 meters tall. Their arms were as thick as tree trunk. Unfortunately, none of them seemed to have noticed us.
ポイズンアークドラゴンとスノーリッチが2
A
体
poison arc dragon and 2 snow leeches.
どっちも
Are they both
Sensu
SO2 monsters? Kazuki nodded. It really did feel like I was looking at a computer model. It didn't seem real.
なんか臭いな。
It kind of stinks. I smelled something kind of rotten. It was a stinging stench that hung in the nose. I could see several red lumps around the feet of the monsters. I looked closely to see what they were and quickly realized they had once been human, and now they were just bloody lump of flesh. They had been crushed, torn apart, and left there. And it was more than 1 or 2 people. There were at least 10 of them lying on the ground. When the number of portal devices had increased, so had the number of the victims. Only then did I finally realize that the stench was coming from the corpses. It was so awful, I wanted to throw up. I had seen the reporter die on the news today. It had been a shock, but it had also felt like seeing a movie. It hadn't seemed real, but the smell was different. It was all too real. It told me that I was seeing was real before my brain had even started to process it, but I couldn't just stand here in shock. I needed to continue my investigation.
これで現実化したポータル
That's the
装置を
third
見つけた
portal we've seen. Which meant it was safe to assume that there was a 4th and a 5th. How many of them were going to find? Ito might be fine, but what about Serika and Kurusu? Maybe asking them for help was a mistake. I hadn't realized Shibuya was so dangerous.
あれを消す方法
Is
は
there any way to get rid of them, you think?
うん
Kazuki shook her head hopelessly.
消せればそれが一番いい
It would be best if we could get rid of them.
わかんない
I don't know.
これまではどうだったんだ
What have you done before?
これまでにも和樹が現実化
You've
して
made
しまった
other
もの
things
があった
real
はずだ
before?
そういうのはその
You've
後
made
どうだ
real
った
things before, right?
現実化したまま
What
ずっと
happened with
存
them?
在し
Did
続
they
けてい
keep
るの
existing? Or did they keep
それとも
suddenly disappear at
何かの
some
タイミングで
point? For some reason, Kazuki smiled. Her smile was a mix of sadness and resignation. It was the only answer I needed. He seemed to be saying that there was no way we would be lucky enough that they would just disappear.
だったら
Then
渋谷はずっとこの
if
まま
Shibuya is going, then if Shibuya, kenapa dia ketawa kalau kita nih? Kenapa senyum? Suddenly I heard the faint noise of a car engine behind me. Just as I spun around, I heard the roar of a beast drown it out. I looked down the hill and
おいおい
oi oi, I saw a patrol car barreling toward us at top speed. Behind were 5 or so monsters storming after it.
なんだよあれ
What is that? There were other monsters? And they weren't just wandering around near the portal device, but moving around the city. All 5 of them were the same type as the one near the portal device. 3 were hairy giants, and 2 were dragons.
っていうかこっちに来
Wait,
る
they're heading this way. And they were pretty fast too. Even the cop car couldn't shake them off. Wait, that meant the car was bringing the monster to us.
レースと
This is like ESO. Anyone who trained is a jerk or an idiot, maybe.
プレイヤーはクズま
Train? Game jargon, primarily used in MMORPG in game where monsters attempt to attack any player who comes within a certain distance. It is possible to move just out of the monster attack radius, causing it to follow you. Multiple monsters can be gathered up in this manner, causing them to form a train behind the player. This is called training. Sometimes a player simply panics and trains by accident, but it's often done deliberately. There are many reasons someone might decide to do this, but because it can cause nearby players to be caught up in a fight against a large number of monsters, it's considered by most players to be bad manners.
だわバカかも
I didn't know if it was common thing that people did, but I understood the nuance.
隠れようやり過ごすんだ
Let them pass by us. I pulled Kazuki by the hand and ran down the stair to a shop that sold grilled beef tongue. At the bottom of the stair was the entrance to the store, but all the lights were off inside. We will hide inside and wait for them to pass. I couldn't see what was going on outside from here. My only option was to rely on the sound. I could hear the sound of the police car and the sound of the monster footsteps shaking the earth. Kazuki gripped my hand high. If they had already found us, just imagining it made me shiver. I didn't think those huge monsters could fit down the tiny stairs, but was hiding down here a good idea? There was nowhere to run. Kazuki and I instinctively clutched each other, tightly holding our breath and concentrating on the sound outside. I could hear the squeal of tires as the patrol car turning down an intersection in front of us. The monster howled again. The earth shook even more violently. Please don't notice us. All I could do was pray, and yay. The sounds got further away. I couldn't hear the police car either.
やり過ごせた
Are they
のか
gone?
うん
助かった
We are safe.
うん
大丈夫か
You okay?
うん
It was then that I realized Kazuki was clinging to me, or more specifically, I was clinging to her. I had been holding her so tight that her chest was heaving up and down in pain.
ごめん
I'm sorry. I quickly backed away. Kazuki fidgeted a little and took a several deep breaths. Kenji Minamikata, the cool cat, would have been able to make up the perfect dandy remark to say at a time like this, I bet. I woke up the stair and took another look at the portal device in front of the park. Mode radio dulu, Fed. Oke, tapi kayaknya bentar lagi aku juga off deh. The police car had drawn away. The 3 monsters that were around the device. We might be able to make it past now. The 2 of us looked at one another and out from the stairs. But as we tried to run down Spain Hill, we saw something and froze. The portal device was shining with a strange golden light. Soalnya tadi itu udah stream lama, cok. Di Twitch 8 jam lebih. I could heard a loud noise like clashing metal. I watched in shock as the light around the portal device began to coalesce into a monster. It was the same thing I had seen on the news, which meant that
また出てくるぞ。
another one is coming out. I motioned to Kazuki and we quickly turn back. Bangun pagi Dota lagi, palingan emang iya bubub. By the time we made it back to the school, we were both too out of breath to run anymore. Will the monster just keep going to keep appearing? If so, then maybe no one will be alive. I will be to live in Shibuya anymore. And it will be our fault. I suddenly heard a brief blast from a siren. It was another patrol car. Was it the one that had been training the monster earlier? But I didn't see any monster around. The patrol car stopped in front of us. The driver's side window opened and the officer within spoke to us. Not the Fedelish life now. Yeah. Did you see another car come this way? Kazuki and I both nodded.
どこで見た？
Where did you see it? Which way did it go?
パルク前で。
In front of the parker. I didn't know which way it had gone since I hadn't seen it myself. As we stood there in silence, the police motioned to us.
とりあえず君たち
Get
乗りなさい。
inside, you too.
こんなところを歩
It's
いていたら
dangerous
危ない
out there. I'll take you somewhere safe.
でも、
But
死にたいのか？
do you want to get killed?
化け物がうろついて
There
る
are
んだ
monsters
ぞ。
everywhere. Come in.
早く。
I almost told him that he would blame the patrol car that had been training back there, but I changed my mind. The policeman was risking his life trying to protect us. He was fighting to get people out of the city, even if it meant facing the risk of being attacked by monsters. I couldn't turn him down just because I wanted to continue my investigation. The next day, we all gathered in the club room. Ito had come all the way around the Harajuku and he had said it was unsafe to walk around in Shibuya anymore. The school itself supposed to be closed, which made sense because of the portal device on the roof. Strangely, no monster had appeared from the school portal device. I don't know why though. Kurusu looked pale. Whenever I looked at her, she was silent and concerned. That was a normal reaction to what was happening in Shibuya, I thought. For his part, Ito didn't look tired at all. Whenever my eyes met his, he would poke me with his elbow.
おいおい。
Oi, so when did you and Kazuku get like that?
そういう関係になってたんだよ。
Waduh,
そういう
get like that?
とぼけんな
Don't try to fool me. I never thought you were normal.
ないと思ってた
And you've gone and left me behind.
それにして
Still, I'm amazed at Kazuki, not Onoi or the Empress. I didn't expect her to be your type.
やっぱあれか
So what? Are you feeding each other dried squid with your mouth? That's pretty naughty,
イカ
damn
っ
it.
てところがエロいな
dear.
くっそ
What the hell was he talking about? Was he stupid?
伊藤くん
Ito-kun. Kurusu glared at him. The eyes in her stare was well below
そ
freezing.
ういうゲスな話をするなら今すぐ出てっ
If
て
you're
くれ
going to be disgusting, will you please just leave now?
すいません
I'm sorry. Kurusu sighed and opened her bag. She had brought an especially big bag today. She took some wrapped boxes out of the bag and put them on the table. Eat this with Kazuki
Kazuki to
later.
ishoni.
I
Ato de
unwrapped
tabenasai.
them and saw that they contained sandwiches.
別にいいの
I'm
に。
fine though.
いいのにじゃ
You're
ない
not
で
fine.
しょ
Do you think
コンビニや
convenience
スーパー
store
が
and
いつも通り
supermarket
空
are
いて
open
る
like
と思ったら
usual?
油断していると
If you're not
食事
careful,
に
you
困
run
って
out of
大変な
food
ことにな
and
る
be
わよ
in big trouble. To be honest, I was incredibly grateful. Just like Kurusu had said, none of the store were open. Last night we had to go to all the way to
あと来てない
Tomigaya.
のは尾上だけか
Is it just
大丈夫
Onoe who is
かよ
not here? Is she okay? He was right. Serika wasn't here. I'll just set the meeting time to around noon, so it wasn't like she was late, but I was still worried. Shibuya was swarming with monsters right now. If one of them attacked her on the way to school, just as I was thinking about going to look for her, the door to the club room flung open and Serika came running in. Everybody's here already.
遅刻しちゃっ
Am I late?
た。遅れるなら連
If you're
絡し
going
な
to
さ
be
い。
late,
状
then
況
send
は
us
状況
message.
なのよ。
Don't you know what's happening out there?
ごめん。
Sorry, katanya.
誰もいない学校ってワクワクしない？ついつい体育館の方までぐるっと回ってきちゃった。
Isn't it kind of exciting to be at school when no one else is around? I just went for a run around the gym. Was that why she was late? I don't know whether she was brave, thoughtless, or just dumb. I don't know how she could laugh at a time like this.
うん、ね
Hey,
え、ひなち
did
ゃ
you
んは
not
呼ばな
call
くてよ。
Hina?
なんで有村？
Why would we call Arimura? She wasn't part of the newspaper club.
手から火を出す人に襲われたんでしょ？あれと関係してるのかなって。
You were attacked by a woman who shot fire from her hand, right? I wonder if that might have something to do with this.
関係はして
It
るけれ
does,
ど
but to be honest,
していないって言った
it
方が
really
正しいか
doesn't.
な。
Ooh?
それ日本語に
That
なって
doesn't
ない
make
ぞ。
any sense.
少なくとも
If nothing
あの女は
else,
もう
she's
僕ら
not
を
going
襲
to
ってこ
attack
ない
us again, I think.
と思う。
I wasn't sure that I would never see her again yet, but
有村はあの日大丈夫だった。
Arimura was fine after the attack. Yeah,
私たちが
we were
ず
with
っと
her
一
the
緒にい
whole
たから。
time.
その日は有村さんも青葉寮に泊まらせたの。
He stayed at Aoba dorm that night.
翌朝にはだいぶ落ち着い
He
た
was a
ようだ
lot
ったから。
calmer the next morning, so we sent her home. Then there was no need to worry about her.
さて、
Alright, can I get started?
昨日みんなに頼んで
I asked you all to go search Shibuya yesterday,
今渋谷には
and I would like to put together your finding to figure
それをまとめたいんだ。
out how many portal devices are in Shibuya. I explained to everyone that they were called portal devices because they came from a game called ASO2.
よくわかんない。もっとちゃんと説明
I
してく
don't
れないと
understand.
ちんぷんかんぷんだ
Can
よ。
you explain better?
どうしてその
What
なん
do
と
this
か
portal,
装
what
置ってのが
seats have to do with you and
花田
Hana?
やった
尾上には説明
There's
しな
no
くて
real
も
need
大
to
丈夫じゃ
explain
ない
anything to you, is there? Oh
ど
no?
っちにしろわからない
You're
ん
not
だ。
going to understand either way.
ああ、そっか。
Oh, right. That was good enough for her.
でも一
But I
応
want to know anyway.
タクル、ちゃん
Takuda,
と説明しなさい。
explain.
人が
People are
死んでいるのよ。
bad.
しかもたくさん。
A lot of people.
あの化け物は何なの？
What are those monsters? Oh, I saw them too. They were attacking a
パ
cop car.
それと最初に
And
生
then
中
there
継
was
された例のニュース。
that first live
あれは
broadcast.
なんだ？
What the hell are those
モン
things?
スターだ。
Monster, literally.
時間を追うごとに増
More
殖し
and
ている。
more are showing up all the time.
増えてるって？
They're
マジ
multiplying?
かよ。
Seriously.
遺体が
There were
あち
bodies
こちに放
everywhere.
置されていた。
It was awful.
あんな、それがあなた
If
た
you're
ちの
saying
せいだ
that's
と
your
言う
fault,
なら
then explain.
説明して。
I might be able to talk my way out of explaining things to Serika or Ito, but it wasn't going to work on Kurusu. I said on the phone yesterday that the portal devices are and monsters might be my fault after all. Kazuki was standing in front of the whiteboard, staring down at her feet. It wouldn't be right not to explain. After all that had happened, there is no way I will be able to keep it a secret. It would probably be better just to explain things to people in the newspaper club. And so I told them everything, including the secret of Kazuki's power. At first, no one seemed to know how to react when they all looked astonished. I thought Ito would tell me to stop joking around, but by the time I was halfway done, he was holding his hat and in his
マ
hand.
ジかよ。
Seriously,
お前らシャレ
this is
信じるの
nuts.
か？
Do you believe me?
信じる
I
さ。
do. I'll never been able to figure out why you and Kazuki were so close all of a sudden.
だって宮代が
I
和
mean,
樹
I
を
can't
口説く
imagine you convincing
絶対
Kazuki to be your
想像つかないだ
girlfriend,
ろ。
but this explains it.
注目するとこ
Is
ろ
that
は
why you're
そこなの？
focusing on here?
何にせよ
Either way, I'm not interested in discussing whether what I just said is true or not. Let me focus on portal device now. Everyone nodded.
それじゃあ
Alright, shall we all take turns telling you what we saw?
ポー
Whether
タ
we
ル装置だ
saw
っけ
any of
それを
those.
見かけたか
What did you call them? Portal devices?
実は昨日
The police actually found us and drove us out of Shibuya yesterday. When I was in a patrol car, they told me what they knew.
みんなから報告を
After
受けた後で
everyone tells me
消防
what they
士に
saw, I'll compare it to what I heard from them.
じゃあ俺からな
Alright, I'll start.
俺は2つ見つけ
I
た
found two portals.
恵比寿から渋谷駅
One
に
was
向かって
floating right in front of Shibuya Police Station and
渋
on
谷
Meiji
警察署の
Street
手前に一つ
to an Abisu and train station right in front of Shibuya Police Station.
慌てて渋谷川を渡って桜ヶ丘町の方に逃げたよ
I turned around and headed across Shibuya River towards Sakurao Kacho.
で
And when I
六本木通り
tried
を
to
渡ろうとした
cross
ら
Roppongi,
今度は南口のバスターミナルに
Roppongi Street, I saw one at Shibuya Station South Exit Bus Terminal. The South Exit Bus Terminal.
あのモンスター
Those monsters are nasty, right? Are nasty, huh? I thought one of the Easter Island statue had gotten up and started walking around
明治通りの
in front of the
渋谷
Shibuya
警察署店駅南口の
and
バ
the South
スターミナル
Exit
だな
Bus Terminal at Shibuya Station, huh? I should mark this on the map. Nih ada di ininya. Satu. Satu. Dua. Bener kan ya?
Onoe たちはどうだった
How about you two, Onoe?
2つ見つけたよ
You found two? Oh,
demo,
but
so
one
much
of them was the one from the news yesterday.
それって
That's the one behind
サイン
Sign
シティ
City,
の裏だっ
right?
たな
The Sign City was spare. It was a hotel and office complex. It's on its own private railroad. It has survived the earthquake 6 years ago. That's right, we went down a tiny alley
小さな
on
レジ
our
を
way up through Dogenzaka. In Dogenzaka, huh?
もう1個は
The other was right in front of 107.
道玄坂の
In
途中
Dogenzaka.
107の
And
目
in
の前
front of the 107. That matches what I heard from the police.
僕らが直接
We
見つけた
found
の
one
は一
device.
個
It was right in front of Parku. The police seem to think that the monsters are active within 100 meter radius of the portal devices. That's probably just as close as any of them dare to get. Of course, there was a chance that even if you got that close, the monster wouldn't see you, or they will attack you outside of that area.
警察は
Do the police know where all the portals are?
ああ
Yeah, in addition to the one you found. 'Anjir, banyak banget. That seems about right.
へえ
Eh,
駅をぐるっと
it looks like they're
取り囲んでるみたい
surrounding
だ
the
な
station.
なんか意味があるの
Does
か
that mean
な
anything? Does it mean anything?
渋谷にいる人たちに
Maybe they don't want people in
気を使わせたく
Shibuya using the station.
どうして
Why?
それは
Don't ask
俺に
me.
聞かないでくれよ
ねえ花ちゃん どうしてなのかわかる？
Hey Hana-chan, do you know? Kayaknya kita save sampai sini aja deh. Save. So ya, mungkin kita bakalan sampai sini aja. Kita bakal sebut nama. Ada Om Aldo, ada Om Kepler, Om Nara, ada Om Aldo Pedo, ada Nepu, ada Senpapi jodohnya Michi. Terus juga ada Om XY kakak tertua, ada Airi, ada Icon, ada Bagis, ada Broleo, ada Glek, ada Sipions, ada tadi ada Kak Hera. Terus juga ada Bu Bos yang udah nge-rate. Terus juga yang lain-lain ya. So ya, thank you banget yang udah mampir dan juga menemani livestream kali ini, dan juga thank you banget buat Bu Bos tadi yang udah nge-rate. Cepet kali, iya kurang kah 11 jam bersamaku hari ini. Udah 11 jam jauh stream Jo. Saya thank you buat yang udah mampir. Kayaknya malas hampir 12. Thank you buat yang udah mampir dan juga udah nonton kali ini. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next stream. Bye bye. Di sini baru 3 jam. Iya makanya nanti pasti donaton ya.